gonna backtrack. And you should've kept my name out your mouth. Ask me though how it all turned out. When you try to use my name for clout, keep on going, give me something you can talk about. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Here we are. There was quite a bit going on last week when, there was quite a bit going on last week with the Juneteenth holiday. Then there was a juror that had passed out or got vertigo or something. And then on Friday, there was just only a half a day. So yeah, I'm wearing my Eagles jersey today. Anyway, okay. So let's just get started. It is 9:13 a.m. Monday, June 23rd. And I believe court has started. Oh, wait, let me put my banner. Okay. Wait, is it too far? Hold on, I gotta adjust my camera. I had moved it. Okay. Okay, places. Hold on, I gotta turn my phone on, like do not disturb or something. It's buzzing. Okay. All right, where are we? Where were we? Okay. This is CNN. Who cares? Okay, let me see. This is good. Here's where we left off in the testimony of Special Agent Joseph Cerciello. Special Agent for Homeland Security Investigations will be back on the stand today in the federal criminal trial of Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. The prosecution called Cerciello, who was not mentioned in the case against Diddy. He began testifying Friday. He reviewed charts of evidence compiled by the prosecutors. To confirm the information in the charts corresponds with the underlying exhibits, which include thousands of pages of text messages as well as phone and financial records. There's 44 entries on the chart, spanning from May 2021 through August 2024. Now, on Friday, this man testified that he reviewed documents related to a hotel stay that Diddy had in LA in January 2023. So this is the beginning of the year that, Cassie would eventually sue him. Hotel records showed that the room was reserved under the name Joseph Chavez. Okay, so this was another, I guess, supposedly alias, or maybe this is just one of the other, assistants who he would use their names to book his stuff. This included a $3,750 charge for damaged furniture. A report from the hotel said there were bodily fluids stained on the wood floor across the entire room on some of the furniture. Excuse me. Oh my God, gross. Bodily fluids stained on the wood floor, also across the entire room and also on some of the furniture. The evidence chart referenced some of Diddy's text messages with Jane, who we heard from earlier in the trial. The messages showed the two coordinating the arrival of three, not one, not two, but three men at the hotel, and Diddy telling Jane to send $1,100 to Cowboys for Angels, an escort service. So send the $1,100 to Cowboy for, okay, so the text messages in this chart include text messages allegedly showing Diddy telling Jane to send $1,100 to Cowboys for Angels, which is an escort service. But the reason she was sending money to Cowboys and Angels or for Angels or whatever is because of flights, so they can have flights. And then there's also a quote overnight rate. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey said that she hopes the government will rest by the end of today. So they're going to be done today, they hope. This is the last witness, I guess, of the trial. I mean, I don't know. I guess for some reason, I do not know why, I was expecting for this to kind of be like Diddy to take like similar time, or at least, half the time that the government took. But apparently they're going to be done with this week, and the jury can start their deliberations this week, maybe. Anyway, okay, so she said she likely will question this special agent through the lunch break, and then the defense will question him for the rest of the day. 33 minutes ago, the judge came to the bench. He was on the bench. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just read this part, but we did kind of just go over it. The testimony is expected to resume this morning from Joseph Cerciello. Girl, I do not know how to say his name. It could be Cerciello. I don't know, girl. But what is he? Who is he? A special agent for the Department of Homeland Security's section called Homeland Security Investigations. He's going to speak about evidence charts compiled by the prosecution. Now, Teeny's going to get up here and be talking about, that wasn't in your chart, was it? Or Brian or somebody, but he didn't make the chart. He did not make the chart. He's just kind of up there to talk about like basically fact checking, like, yeah, this ticket really exists. This text message really exists, kind of reading it into evidence. So look at this 11 minutes ago. Attorneys anticipate closing arguments will take place on Thursday. So that means Diddy's only going to take 2 days to make his case, or, his lawyers will only be taking 2 days because today's Monday. If they're going to do closing arguments on Thursday, that's probably going to take at least most of the day, if not all of the day. So, if Teeny, or I don't know who it's going to be today, it could be Brian Steele, it could be anybody doing the cross-examination today, but Teeny did the last one of these experts or whatever, and she was all, your chart. So if they're going to be resting their case today for the prosecution, and then the defense starts theirs tomorrow, which would be Tuesday, then they have all Tuesday and all Wednesday, and then they can do closing arguments on Thursday. That's 2 days. Diddy's only gonna take 2 days to do his case. Okay. So before testimony resumes, the lawyers mapped out the week ahead. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey said she expects the testimony of Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent Joseph Cerciello to continue into tomorrow morning. Okay, so that it means Diddy will be taking even less time than 2 days. It might just be 1 point something days. The defense is expected to rest by the end of Tuesday after submitting some, oh my God, girl, half a day. Okay, and then they're going to meet on Wednesday for a charge conference. Oh my God, y'all. Okay, so get your notebook out, y'all. It's probably going to be over this week. It's probably going to happen this week if they're predicting accurately. Look, he's going to keep this guy, Joseph Cerciello, as if it wasn't already boring and drawn out enough just on the afternoon the other day. Now he's going to be out here until freaking tomorrow. So this man's going to be on the stand all day and then into Tuesday morning. Okay, then that's going to be done. All right. Then the defense, that's Diddy's team, is expected to finish their case by the end of tomorrow. So they not bringing up freaking goddamn nobody, y'all. I mean, gee, golly. They are expecting to rest their case by the end of tomorrow. And that is with this government witness still on the stand tomorrow. So they're about to have a half day. We'll see. We'll see if they actually do rest their case tomorrow. I mean, it seems a bit ambitious. I mean, it took the prosecution longer than 6 weeks to make their case, but or about 6 weeks, I guess, but we have one half of 1 day for Diddy. We'll see. But they're saying it. Look, the defense is expected to rest by the end of Tuesday after submitting some exhibits into evidence. So they're just going to submit some exhibits and go along. The attorneys, so both sides, intend then the day after. So tomorrow's Tuesday. Next day is Wednesday. So on that next day, Wednesday, they're going to have a charge conference, which is meeting to discuss the remaining considerations about what instructions to actually give the jury. And then the closing arguments will be Thursday, and then jury deliberation will begin. I'm assuming Thursday, if not, Friday. 12 minutes ago, the special agent was back on the stand. Let's go to Inner City Press. Okay. So this is before that guy came back in, the special agent witness. This is before the jury comes back in. Every morning they got to do their little arguments about things and all that. So this is Diddy's lawyer, Alexandra Shapiro. She says, our draft verdict form is based off the Archegos case. It's the United States versus Bill Huang, and the Ray case. So the Ray case has been mentioned several times here. The assistant U.S. attorney said, no, we need ours. Okay, so if y'all don't know this, the two different sides, the defense and the prosecution, have put in this weekend their proposed, what are we looking at? Verdict sheets, verdict form, verdict sheet. Both sides have offered up a version of it. And the assistant U.S. attorney is saying, no, like ours is better and it is required. Why? Why is it required? Because there's special sentencing factors. Okay. The prosecutor is saying, no, for RICO cases and ST, we actually have to get the jury to say which predicate charges they, did they find him guilty of arson? Did they find him, guilty of kidnap? These RICO predicates. And the assistant U.S. attorney is saying, that's all fine and good, whatever they doing over there in the Diddy camp based on precedent or whatever, but it's not going to cut it because we need the ones that have like the extra information because it's required. There are special sentencing factors. Hold on. Just need to fix this. It's aggravating me. Okay. So they're going back and forth on that, but the judge is going to be the one to ultimately decide based on their arguments or whatever. And then Agnifilo says, okay, well, moving on to scheduling, we agree to the Fed's proposal that we start our closing arguments on Thursday. And then the feds are like, yeah, our summary witness, we now believe he's going to go into tomorrow, unfortunately for him. But then we understand the defense's case will consist of reading in some exhibits. So they're just going to call people in. Okay, wow. Their whole entire case is just going to be people sitting on the stand and reading exhibits. It isn't even going to be questions asked. Wow. They could not get a single soul to show up for him. Oh, that's bad. Not one single person's showing up to testify for Diddy. That is crazy. Okay, wow. Okay. But again, y'all, I mean, we'll see. Things change fast out here. The jury comes in. All rise. Hold on, let me get my little. All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Subramanian presiding. The day is Monday, June 23rd, 2025, and we are here for the United States versus Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs in his racketeering, ST, and prostitution trial. Okay, the judge says to the jurors, thank you for braving the heat. Welcome back again. I guess it's hot outside. Agent Cerciello, you are still under oath. Okay, so the feds are going, we want to put in some sealed exhibits. Thanks. Can you turn off the public screens? Now, the judge did order, I wanted to tell y'all this as well. The judge did order the feds to put in all the exhibits from Jane Doe and everything by today. So we will go over to Pacer, if I remember, and if we have time, and check out what's been filed over there on Pacer. But the judge did submit an order, and that was in response to the media. The media had a lawyer send in a letter saying to the judge, we were told, the media, the press, the news, the people, the public, we were told we were going to get these exhibits. I mean, Jane Doe been off the stand for like a month or something, and we still haven't seen her exhibits. So what's the deal? What gives? So the judge did go ahead and order the prosecution, the feds, to go ahead and have to put those exhibits up by today. Now, remember, the reason was they were concerned for her anonymity. They didn't have enough time to redact it all, but now, I mean, they should have had enough time. So the judge did order that. So we should be seeing a lot of exhibits dropping into the docket today. Okay, so they're back to asking this special agent some questions, and I expect that this is going to be another long and boring and tedious day because they're going to be keeping this man on the stand all day. And all he's doing is talking about Excel spreadsheets. But, we'll do our best. I'll do my best to keep everyone edutained. Okay. So, what about this flight? The prosecution asks. What about this flight? What is this? The special agent said, this is a flight to and from Las Vegas to California. And this is Paul Arthur on the flight. So that is Diddy's personal trainer, but also freak off participant. Okay, next question. What about these messages? Okay, that is, those are messages from or between and among Puff, Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy Combs, Christina Karam, and someone named Annika, not sure how spelled since public screen is off. Girl, that's how they pronounced it, Annika. Okay, let's listen to Diddy's 5 audio messages. Please put on the headphones. Okay, so now the public can't hear. They're just keeping everything super secret, super quiet. Why are they doing this? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. It could be because they want us not to know anything. The public has to be kept in the dark. It could be because they're planning on prosecuting other people based on this evidence. It could be because, I mean, girl, I don't know. I think it is preposterous. I think it is ridiculous. I think it is way out of line. I think it's unconstitutional how secret this trial has been. And I think someone needs to be sued over it. I think someone needs to be fired over it. I mean, that's my opinion, but I'm not going to be doing the suing. Okay. Okay, so they listened to 5 audio messages from Diddy. Who is they? The jury and the special agent, but not the public. Okay, we're not allowed to know what's going on in our own institutions, apparently. I guess that's a new rule. I guess that's something that they decided to take from those inbred freaks that are still over there running the UK. I mean, this sounds like stuff like that. I mean, this sounds like stuff that my ancestors ran away from, all of this secretive nonsense. If y'all want to have secret society meetings in the back rooms where nobody knows what's going on, then can you please stop wasting our time and dragging us into it? I mean, that's just my question. It's just a humble request. Stop dragging us into your bullshit if we are not allowed to see what you're doing. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm completely up to here with it. Okay. Up to the skull. I'm just completely done with it. Anyway, next question. What is this? Exhibit 1406. It's government exhibit 1406, first page. Were the explicit videos cited in this chart? What do they show? The guy's like, sexually explicit videos. Okay. Is there one woman in them? Yes, Jane. Also, I recognize Cabral. I recognized Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy Combs in the freak off videos. Okay. What about other men? Yes, I did see other men as well, the special agent said. Thank you, pit bulls and polka dots, and stop wasting our money. It's our money. The public does have a right to know. Rhonda, I completely agree. Our time and our money. Exactly. Yes, I would hate how private Canada law is. And I'm telling you one thing right now, I'd probably be trying to get a citizenship to the United States, but then I would get over here and then I would be like, oh, they secret over there too. They just try to pretend like they're not. Oh, okay, cool, cute. That's nice. That's good to know. That's good to know. Good to know. Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay. Thank you so much, Pamela Fairbanks, for the $4.99 super sticker. Thank you, Ravioli Kid, member for 1 month. Been a pleasure to be part of this chat. Thank you for your hard work and mods, keeping it safe space. Yes, shout out to the mods. It's wild out there on other platforms. I know. Did he sign up? Okay. I don't think so, Becca, but I don't put it past them to try and argue anything. If everything is public, won't that stop victims from coming forward and testifying? Sure, sure, maybe, but we don't even have any idea what's not public. Like, this isn't even saying, like, oh, it's public. It's not public because victims, because there is some stuff in this case like that. For example, Annie in Jane Doe. We're not supposed to know her name. We're not supposed to say her name because she is a victim, alleged victim, and it may disincentivize other alleged victims from coming forward. Same thing happened with the Jane Doe exhibits. That's why the government was allowed to sit on their ass and do absolutely nothing with showing us those exhibits for the past 2 weeks, because it would discourage other victims from coming forward if something were inadvertently leaked. Okay, fine, fine. But at the very least, there's supposed to be arguments about that are public, and we're supposed to know why things are sealed at the very, very least, because as far as we're concerned, they could be just hiding stuff because their best friend Jeffrey Epstein is involved or something. I don't know. I don't know. That's the issue, is we don't know. So no, actually, no, Annie. It's not just any and everything ought to be sealed because then victims won't come forward. No, no, that's absolutely freaking not. Because one thing y'all got to understand as victims, and I really do truly mean this with all due respect, you have to say your name in court to the person you're suing, period. Period. That's just how it is. The person you're suing has to know. So if you're going to get the person you're suing involved, and you already got told them, then I believe the public should also have the right to know. Now, that being said, there's exceptions. Y'all heard me say it on my channel about Jane Doe over and over. Y'all heard me say it over and over. I'm not going to say her name. There is a court order. But reasonable minds can disagree on whether or not it is appropriate for the government to put anyone away, including you and me, including someone who may be innocent, right? It's easy to kind of villainize Diddy and be like, oh, put that man away. He don't deserve rights. But if they do it for Diddy, they're going to start citing Diddy's case when they're trying to do it to you. And you might be innocent. Okay. So you mean to tell me somebody can lose all their rights, all their freedoms for possibly ever, including you and me, because if it can happen to Diddy, it can happen to us. That's how the American legal system works. It's like precedent gets set and then they can do it to other people. It just seems a little bit over the top. If I'm being criminally charged, I want every damn thing that they're trying to use against me out to the public. It's crazy. It's crazy. They have a right to confront their accuser. Everyone does. Shout out to Blue becoming a member. It just aggravates me. It's just like, why even get us involved? Like, literally freaking half the shit in this trial has just been hidden from the public, and we're never going to see them. They're just being sneaky. I think so too. Angela, that's great. You think victims should stay anonymous. Unfortunately, the Constitution disagrees. It sucks. It sucks, for your opinion, but like, you cannot just be like, oh, anonymous 15 Jane Does, and then this guy goes to jail forever. That's just not how it works. Y'all need to move to a communist country if you want to do that. It's just no. Now, specific victims, somebody pointed out minors, somebody pointed out people who are just not at all in any way in the public light, and this is a public trial. There's exceptions, but every victim should be anonymous. Fuck that. Lima Yevrimovich, lying ass, said she was a victim too, right? They lie too. People lie and say they're victims. Y'all know that? Y'all forgot that or what? People lie, people attack, perpetrators claim to be victims. Y'all know that? Fat Joe acting like he's a victim. I don't know. I wasn't there. He might be. But y'all know it's not just actual real victims that come forward and say they're victims, right? Or is that something that y'all didn't know? We, the people, have a right to know who's using our systems, period. Again, do not say who Jane Doe is in the chat. The names are all blocked anyway. That is not the purpose of this. I am going to follow a court order, but I am only willing to allow this secretive bullshit to go so far before I start to say this isn't how it's supposed to be. All right. This is my channel. I can say what I want over here. If y'all don't like it, you can make a video about it. Okay. Diddy appears in explicit videos cited in court. Again, this was not a video that was played. They were playing audio messages, 5 audio messages. So it's all coming out at the same time. Like, oh, they cited explicit videos, but that is not what they just played in court. They shouldn't be playing freak off tapes in court. I agree with that one. Keep that one sealed. That's revenge porn. There's reasons for stuff, but that ain't what they just played. They played voice notes. It's aggravating. I'm sick of it. If y'all want to live where everything's secret, go to North Korea. I heard they're accepting visas. If y'all want to live where everything is secret, apparently they're doing that over there in Canada. Go over there. This is sick. I'm sick of it. Okay, anyway. The special agent confirmed that several sexually explicit videos featuring Jane with other men are cited in the summary chart. Did they play them in court? No, they did not. So before y'all see the fake news running around, no, they did not today. No, they did not. The videos are collectively several hours long, the freak off tapes that are referenced but were not played in court today. They're just in this summary chart that this guy is testifying about. He said Diddy also appears in some of these videos. Now the jury is viewing clips of the videos, but that is not what Inner City Press said, and this is CNN, so we'll see. Voice notes is what it said. Look, does it not say voice note? Audio messages. Let's listen to Mr. Combs' 5 audio messages. And then you have fake news AF over here. Maybe it's real news. Maybe it's real news. But it appears to me that is not. This clearly says, let's listen to Mr. Combs' 5 audio messages. Not let's look at the tapes. Not let's view the video. No, 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 no. Let's listen to his audio messages. This is not a freak off tape. Why is this public sealed from the public? Again, please do not misconstrue this as if I am saying that everybody needs to be watching freak off tapes, because I don't think so. And if they were public, I wouldn't watch them. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. But audio messages, we've heard them a dime a dozen. Why we can't hear them now? It's just stupid. And you know what else I've been noticing in the transcripts is that when they play these audio messages in court, the transcript recorder, the reporter doesn't type down what was said in the message. It just says audio is played. So again, how will we, the public, ever know if what was done was right in this case? Frankly, how is Diddy going to know if the public heard the full story? Because we haven't. That's going to be real cute if he tries to appeal based on this. Huh. Anyway. Next question. So you recognized other men in the video. There was other men in the video besides Sly/Cabral and Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. There was more different men in these videos, these freak off tapes, right? Yes. Now they play some videos. Now they play freak off videos and they turn the attorney's screens off. Now the freak off tapes are played. Diddy takes off and then puts back on his glasses. He leans over to pick up something from the floor, and then he sits back up. Let me just scroll down here and see what they've put in here. Let's see. On Friday, this is 25 minutes ago, Washington Post. On Friday, the government called Homeland Security Special Agent Joseph Cerciello to present a chart of alleged freak-off encounters involving Diddy and his girlfriend, Jane. Prosecutors claim that about 45 SEX parties took place between 2021 and 2024. The last one was just weeks before Diddy was arrested in November by federal agents in New York City. The chart only included freak-offs that prosecutors were able to corroborate with multiple records, so there was probably more freak-offs and they just don't have the evidence for them. The government will continue questioning this special agent today, and after this, the prosecutors allegedly plan on resting their case. 11 minutes ago, he's on the witness stand, continuing his testimony from Friday, and he is expected to testify throughout the day. He's discussing additional text messages and videos collected during the investigation. The jury then saw sexually explicit videos that were collected during the investigation. The clips were not being shown to any members of the public or press in the courthouse due to a ruling from the judge that was protecting the privacy of those involved. Government expects to rest tomorrow. Special agent is expected to testify all day. That means the government is not going to rest its case in chief until tomorrow. Closing arguments are set as early as Thursday. 5 minutes ago, Diddy's staffer sent text messages saying he had Plan B in his nightstand. The special agent is back on the stand and was asked about the text messages Diddy sent. In one text message, Diddy's chief of staff, KK, planned his stay in a Las Vegas hotel where it appears he was planning a hotel night. She texted, this is KK, the chief of staff, saying she had a room at the Waldorf Astoria, Las Vegas. She said she put Plan B in his nightstand and said a jeweler selling Van Cleef can meet him in New York. So remember that Van Cleef necklace she got? And then she was mad because Gina got the matching necklace too or whatever. 3 minutes ago, jurors shown more explicit videos. Jurors wore headsets and focused on screens to watch what appeared to be freak-off videos involving Diddy, Diddy's former girlfriend, Jane Cabral, an S worker among the regular partners of the rendezvous, is expected to be in these sets of videos. Okay. Okay, so we already read this, but it says less than a minute ago, and I think they might have changed some stuff up. So we'll read it again. This is CNN. Diddy appears in explicit videos cited in court, special agent says. Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Joseph Cerciello confirmed that several sexually explicit videos showing Jane with other men are cited in a summary chart. The videos are collectively several hours long. Diddy is also in the videos. The jury is viewing clips of the videos and listening through headphones. The public and the press cannot see the videos because they are under seal. We also have The Independent. There's Brian Steele for sure. Final prosecution witness to conclude testimony before defense makes case for acquittal. Diddy resumes on his trial resumes today for its 8th week. Special Agent Joseph Cerciello expected to conclude his testimony. He's answering questions on phone and travel records pertaining to the case and is expected to be the prosecution's final witness, after which it will rest its case to make way for the defense. And the defense has indicated it's going to wrap up its case for acquittal in a matter of days. Jurors could begin their deliberations as soon as Wednesday, following closing arguments. Okay. Diddy's former assistant, this is theindependent.com, describes putting on gloves to clean up freak-offs. On Friday, he testified he helped Diddy prepare for his substance-fueled marathons known as freak-offs and to clean up after them, but he denied being Diddy's rug mule. Brendan Paul, who was initially hired to assist Diddy with his workouts. So another one that's like, oh yeah, you're like a personal trainer, nutritionist. Okay, sure. He testified that he sometimes bought substances for Diddy, but he rejected the description as he rejected the description of being a rug mule because he said it only constituted a part of his job. So you must apparently, to be someone's rug mule, it has to be your full-time job, I guess. I mean, girl, please. Please. Now, it does say Diddy is not expected to testify in his own defense. We're currently not expecting Diddy's defense attorneys to call him to the stand this week, but you never know. I kind of am. I won't be surprised to see Diddy come up to the stand, truly. Your attorneys, like a lot of people are saying his attorneys aren't going to let him. Your attorneys have no choice whether or not you testify. It is absolutely 100% your choice. It is not, they cannot not let you. They can say, I can't represent you if you do it. They can give you some type of ultimatum, but ultimately, I don't even think they really can do that at this late in the game. If Diddy wants to testify, he can. So this whole thing about not let, y'all think anyone can let or not let Sean P. freaking Diddy, Puff Daddy Combs after all you've heard? You think somebody's going to let or not let him do something? when he has a constitutional right to do it at that. Okay. Tell me you fell asleep, girl. Tell me you fell asleep during the coverage. But he may not. He may not. He may realize that it's just too dangerous for him to get up there and do that, because he getting up there and talking in his own defense, he opens himself up to be questioned by prosecutors. And I'm sure he does not want to be questioned by prosecutors. Also, the fact that the defense said their case is only going to last 2 days, it shows that they're not expecting him to be called up. Excuse me, they're not expecting to call him up. Okay, so now we're on Sky News. This is day 28 of the trial. Special Agent Joseph Cerciello back on the stand answering questions from Maureen Comey. Maureen Comey, the feds, has told the judge that the agent's testimony is going to probably take all day. So meaning they're not going to rest until tomorrow now. Now, this is almost a week late because they were supposed to rest last Wednesday, but then a bunch of stuff happened. There was a holiday. So it's kind of dragged out. A minute ago, jurors shown more explicit videos. Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent Joseph Cerciello has been asked about the text messages sent by Diddy. In one text, the rapper's, so Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Karam, planned his stay at a hotel in Las Vegas. This is where it appears he was planning a freak off or a hotel night. KK texted him to say that she had a room at the Waldorf Astoria, Las Vegas. Jurors were then shown what appeared to be freak-off videos involving Diddy's former girlfriend, Jane, an alleged victim who testified under a pseudonym earlier in the trial. They were given headsets and focused on screens to watch the footage, which was kept private from others in the courtroom, which that should be. I don't think people in the courtroom need to be watching freak-off tapes, especially if y'all actually believe that's a victim. Like, that's kind of like revenge porn. And who knows who's even in there in that room and stuff like that. I do think some things is okay to keep it sealed, but like, I think they're getting carried away with every single, like, voice notes. All 5 voice notes, 100% under seal for what? For what? That's stupid. I'm not talking about freak off tapes. I'm talking about voice messages. Summations in the trial are now expected Thursday with a charge. That means closing arguments. So that's 3 days from now. It's Monday today. So we'll have all day Tuesday. And then there's a charge conference on Wednesday. So really no like testimony on Wednesday, I don't believe. No defense witnesses. Oh my God. There will be no defense witnesses. I have got to go tweet this. There's not going to be a single witness testifying for Diddy, according to the Washington Post. Hold on. Let me go tweet it. Hold on. Breaking. Diddy will not call a single witness in his defense. Repeat. There is not one person coming to testify for Diddy in That's crazy to me. What would they say, really? Monica said. I mean, I agree. I don't know what they would possibly say. I don't know what they would possibly say, but I mean, you would think that somebody, maybe an old S worker, maybe a somebody somewhere, something. It's wild. It is. That's crazy. Livy said if they didn't get immunity, I wouldn't do it either. Yeah, because they probably in on it with him. I guess they are. Watching videos, girl. They're playing videos. Okay. We have a new update from NBC. Jesus, what is this? 50, this is 3 minutes ago. 50 explicit video files were made just before Christmas 2021. Federal agents discovered 50 explicit video files in Diddy's possession that were created from December 17th through 21st, 2021. The jury was also shown 2 of these video files. Okay, so there's 50. They discovered 50 of them, and the jury was shown 2. Diddy looked around the room as the freak off video played in court, rather than at the monitor, showing the explicit footage in front of him. At the same time, his attorney, Nicole Westmoreland, and Diddy's mom, Janice, focused on the jury's reaction to the graphic videos. So Janice Combs and Nicole Westmoreland are looking over to the jury to see what they doing while they looking at the freak off tape. Court was in session. Lawyers for both sides spoke with the judge about their expected timeline. They both agreed that closing arguments would occur on Thursday. Did we read this one already? Jurors shown the videos. The special agent was asked about text messages sent by Diddy, and one, yeah, we read this. The chief of staff, KK, was talking about the stay at the hotel in Las Vegas. Diddy was planning a freak off. KK said that she had also had a room at the Waldorf. The jurors were shown a text message. The jurors were then shown freak off or alleged, apparently, what appeared to be freak off videos involving Jane. They had headsets on and they were focused on screens. So there's 2 of these videos that were played for the jury. I'm sure there was just parts of it played. I'm sure it wasn't like this right here. I'm sure it wasn't the full videos because collectively, I'm sure it's 50 videos. I'm sure it's hours and hours long. The assistant U.S. attorney said, can we go to the 5-minute mark? Looking at row 16, does that also have an explicit video? Yes, it does. Okay, can you play it from the 5-minute mark and then take it down, please? And so they're just playing freak off after freak off. Inner City Press said, we cannot listen. They are using headphones for those asking. That's why the thread has lagged. There is literally nothing to report. Look at Matthew Russell Lee got a new haircut, got his ears lowered, looking fresh, looking as sharp. I do have his links down in the description box below. I also have the mods links down in the description box below if you want to support the mods and all the work that they are doing here. Thank God Janice Combs is wearing something that's not black or white for once. Janice arrives today in downtown Manhattan. Hope she takes that. What would we call that? American Horror Story Coven hat off of her head before she walks into the court room. But look, listen, I just gotta say that shirt is just a delightful break from what she's usually wearing. So I'll take it. 50 explicit video files were made just before Christmas 2021. So just before Christmas 2021 was like the first year he had been dating Jane. All right. Let's go to Pacer. That's what it looked like, Kaylee. That is what it looked like to me. This is what came to my mind too, Bisca. That is what came to my mind too, but I didn't want anybody to call me racist or something, so I didn't say it. But what came to my mind when I heard the name Onika is Nicki Minaj, but I don't know, allegedly, since we can't see how to spell or pronounce, we couldn't even see what it was. I know. I thought that too, but I didn't want y'all to be like, "That's not how to pronounce," or something, you know? It's like, I'm just trying to mind my business over here, you know what I mean? No, Trishy, this is not whenever he threatened Cassie. She was allegedly threatened around 2011 or 12, the Christmas of 2011 or 2012 with all the Kid Cudi stuff. The Jeepers Creepers hat. That poor hat looks tired. I know. BJ is on one this morning. I'm aggravated. I'm just feeling aggravated. Is the moon doing something? Is Mercury doing something? Let me go to, it was the summer solstice. That just happened this weekend. Did y'all know? I'm looking up and see if anything. Oh, that ain't how you spell that. Hold on. Sun square Neptune. Is that bad? I think Neptune is one of my good planets. I think that one likes me. Okay, hold on. Look at all the filings in this case, y'all. Oof. Nope. Nothing. Just look. We're on the 23rd today. And look, the most recent thing was filed was on the 21st. Oh, man. I did have occasion to start reading through the Fat Joe lawsuit, y'all. It is scathing. I'll tell you that. It is scathing. Now, is it true? Did it really happen? I don't know. So y'all, this one right here, I mean, I don't know. I can't vouch or anything like that, but I do wonder if this is true. If so, it would be interesting. Prosecutors are flooding the jurors with explicit videos right before they rest their case. This is a classic courtroom strategy. Hit them hard, make the trauma unforgettable, and leave no room for doubt about the pattern. I'll be live tweeting from court one day this week. Cool. Always like, oh, excuse me. Always like when I can put a face with an account, personally. Just going through our sources, we're hitting up NBC News right now. Now, Inner City Press has already said they are playing these tapes, and that could explain why his thread is lagging. He's like, literally, there's nothing to report. Do we already read this? The plan B in the hotel room made sure the music mogul had planned. Yeah, in a text message reviewed by the special agent, Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Karam, also known as KK, made sure that Diddy had plan B in his hotel room. KK planned for Diddy to stay at the Waldorf Astoria, Las Vegas, and in a text message to him, she notified him the plan B was in the nightstand. Girl. So, since we're going to be done with Diddy trial this week, seemingly, you know, that kind of raises the obvious question, like, what am I going to do next? Now, if y'all didn't know, I know I did recently get about, I don't know, maybe 20,000 new subscribers from the Diddy stuff. Who's on the stand? It's a special agent. It is a special agent. Becca said she needs a curly hair, messy updo tutorial. Girl, if I had any talent, ma'am, it is always just a hit or miss. It's a little scrunchies, little just kind of like pin, just flop it over and just start bobby pinning, girl. There's so much bobby pins in there, I'll probably blow up the metal detector. Well, Kimba, maybe because so he didn't want him to get pregnant, but yeah, that's Pluto's in retrograde. How long does that last? I think I got a Pluto Chiron or something like that, but most of us do in our age range. Thank you, Manette, for the $10 Australian super chat. Yeah, I don't know what's going on truly with this. Like Lisa said, she thinks this trial is a way to hide all of it, specifically Maureen Comey at the lead. I mean, oh God, listen, I'm trying to hold out hope. Okay. I'm trying to hold out hope that maybe something's going to happen here. Okay. Anyway, so what I was saying is, I obviously, I had other stuff going on before Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, and I'm going to hold on, let me hide somebody. Hold on. Kibo, I'm going to ban you, but before I do, I just want to make sure that you never forget that this is probably the reason why your parents are not proud of you and they don't talk to you. That's probably why. And if you have kids, it's probably why they don't want you to come pick them up at school in the carpool line, because you're embarrassing. It's probably why. It's probably why. Because my hair does not look a mess and nothing about me looks a mess. I look amazing. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You might need a brain scan. Okay, you're banned. Goodbye. So yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. I think I'm going to be covering some of the lawsuits that I was not able to like fully get into while I was doing the Diddy stuff. I'm going to be thank you so much, Christina Karam, for the $1.99 super chat. I definitely am definitely not reading that message out loud, but I'll take your money. Thank you so much for the $1.99. Yeah, no, I'm always cute. I'm always cute. I'm always cute. Anyway. So Fat Joe will be one of them. I think I already did the Tyler Perry one. And then there's actually 2 Fat Joe lawsuits. There's one that just got filed against him, but he filed one in May. Fat Joe kind of like did a preemptive strike. I think he knew this guy was going to sue him. TA, I guess his name is Terrence Dixon. Now, what I find to be interesting and a little bit confusing too is the last name of the person that is suing Tyler Perry is Dixon, Dixon. And then the last name of the person who is suing Fat Joe is also Dixon. So the fact that I haven't really had a lot of opportunity to like take all the time with these cases and learn the different parties, it makes it a little bit confusing. Then there's also a lot of stuff going on with the Rock Nation, what is it? Rock Nation, Demore Hadley, Desiree Perez stuff. Then Desiree Perez was mentioned in the Fat Joe lawsuit. I mean, there's a lot going on. So, yeah, seriously, anyone who has issues with the rules, take it up with not the mods. We're just trying to like not get kicked off. Oh, Russell Simmons also has a Dixon lawsuit. You're so right. Drew Dixon. Oh my God, you're so right. Hold on. I need to turn this subscriber mode thing on. Cause y'all, they out here they are not knowing how to act. My last live from Friday, it got yellow $signed. AKA demonetized, or not fully, but like minimally monetized or whatever. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you can't even talk about the news no more, y'all. Okay. Anyway. All right. So we do have another. Look. Less than a minute ago, CNN.com, jury sees more than 12 minutes of sexually explicit video clips. The jury watched at least 13 clips of sexually explicit videos recorded in November 2021, December 2021, February 2022, August 2022, and October 2022. In total, the jury has watched more today. The jury has watched more than 12 minutes of the footage. They listened through headphones as they watched the clips. The public and the press cannot see these videos, and they are under seal. Joseph Cerciello, a special agent for Homeland Security investigation, said the summary chart cites several other explicit videos that the jury did not view. He confirmed that about 50 of them were recorded in just a few days, December 17th through December 21st, 2021. So these right here, there's 50 just in this one right here, right? So jury watched 13 clips. So one from November 21, December 21, February 22, August 22, October 22. But the ones from December 2021, there was 50. There was 50. Now, maybe they a minute long. Maybe he was making shorts. Maybe he was making reels. Maybe his phone was dying. I don't know. But within a 5-day period, coming up on Christmas, there was 50 videos within a 5-day period. A 10 a day average right here. Okay. Y'all know what I should have told Kibo whenever he or she said the hair looks a mess. You know what? I really missed the opportunity to say, bitch, at least I got hair. Ooh, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. Put a something in the chat. Put a 2-2 in the chat if you remember that story. That's what I should have said. Bitch, at least I got hair. Oh, thanks so much, Sour Girl, for the $1.99 super chat. Thanks so much, Virginia Martinez, for the $5 super chat. Sending love and support against people like Kibo. I know I look great. What is a wrong? Like, I have a mirror, I have a camera, I have a monitor. I know I'm cute. Like, who are you trying to lie to? Lie to your mama, don't lie to me. You know what I mean? Thank you for the $5. Thank you, Sarah, for the $4.99 super sticker. Appreciate that. Y'all remember, see, look, at least like a bitch. Don't come for me unless I send for you. Cause then now what? School days. Y'all are funny. I know. And the issue is probably they crusty, probably their breast stinks. Probably they have absolutely no room to be talking about anybody else, much less God's favorite. It's just embarrassing for them. Bye. Okay. I think we have another tweet finally. Oh, we have a few. Thank God. Okay. Okay. Let's now go to a chart. This is chart 1408. Who are these names? Well, this is Jane, Jonathan Perez. That's the assistant of the Trump International. I know they are. Yeah, tell him, Rob Lowe. It's only 9 my time. BJ got me cracking up. And why be in my chat? Well, because he's getting paid, probably. Maybe they jealous. I mean, I really don't know. Or I don't know. Okay. But I am wont to say, you know, before somebody has told me in recent times, you know, in case there was any confusion, I don't like you. I said, bitch, I wouldn't like me either if I looked like you. And then it was another one of them moments. We might have been in the courthouse when I said that. And there might have been people waiting for their parole hearing going, ooh, it might have been. That might have happened. I don't know. Maybe I'll tell you all the story one day. Okay, now let's go to a chart, 1408. Who are the names? This is Jane. This was, you know, Diddy's ex. She testified. And Jonathan Perez, who is an assistant, a former assistant that used to work for Diddy. This is for the Trump International Hotel. What is the address listed? This is a Central Park, Manhattan address. Okay. So for exhibit 7Y-120, what is the room number? And the special agent said the room number is 0508. So room 508. Okay. Could we turn back on the public exhibit screens? Yeah, it's about freaking time. Okay, the judge, he must have heard. His ears must have been ringing that I was saying he needs to be investigated or fired or something, because he said, Miss Comey, can we turn the public screens back on? Because, you know, they're down my throat with their fancy lawyers about why you not putting your stuff up that you said you were going to put up. So can we turn the public screens back on? That'd be good. Thanks. She's like, we're about to show an exhibit with Jane's true name. If you want me to be turning it on and off, yeah, that's what you have to. That's your job. That's what you get paid to do. So yeah, you do need to be turning it on and off, Maureen. Yes, you do. Because you know the public has rights to see the stuff that y'all are doing. Make sure that you're not, trying to cover something up or whatever. Y'all, if you can't tell, something that really, really aggravates me is when they're hiding stuff from us. Okay. We have an update about what Diddy is doing. He appears to be taking notes in his seat as the videos are being played for the jury. So now he don't want to watch. Now he don't want to watch the freak offs. He only wants to watch them in private, I guess, in the back rooms. I really don't know. Diddy appears to be taking notes in his seat as the videos are being played for the jury. He's wearing headphones to follow along. So he's taking notes. He's wearing headphones. His mom is looking at the jury because, he was told stop looking over there. So now he's got his mom doing it, or she's doing it on her own accord. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't ask him. And then also, his lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland, is looking over there, which I would expect somebody to be looking over there from the lawyer just to see how it's going. I think we already read that one. And Diddy is in some of these videos too, just so y'all know. That's what's being reported. I don't know. I didn't watch them. And if they did make these public, I don't think I would watch them. I don't think I would watch them. I don't need to see them personally. Okay. We do have an update from Sky News 1 minute ago. 50 explicit video files made in just a few days. And this was before Christmas 2021. Federal agents discovered 50 explicit video files in Diddy's possession. So where did these come from? Okay, good. This is good to know. Okay, so good. All right. We have not heard any video evidence coming from Diddy at all whatsoever. So far, everything seems to have come off of Cassie's devices. Maybe from the Frank Black profile or whatever. But from what I've been able to put together, all of the evidence has really come from from Cassie, or maybe from Christina Karam. Now we're seeing these were from Diddy's devices. Now, this is Sky News. I don't know if this is, real, fake, whatever. I haven't seen anybody else reporting this, but it does say, in Diddy's possession. So not Cassie's possession. The special agent says they were all created from December 17th to December 21st, which is that the winter solstice? Was this like a winter solstice debauchery? Hold on. When is winter solstice? Because y'all, argue with your mama, don't argue with me. Yeah. Let's see, 2021. It's always on the 21st, right? Or no? Look, I typed it in. When is, I should have said was, winter solstice 21, and it was December 21st. So he was, in my opinion, having a winter solstice debauchery party, or whatever, they called it. I think it was a winter solstice. I don't know. Now I won't call it a sacrifice because I don't think nobody died or whatever, but you know how they be doing their little things for certain, astrological movements. I want to show y'all the Chichen Itza because this has been going on a long time. All right. So I don't know if y'all know about this right here. Chichen Itza. I don't know if y'all know about this right here, this major archaeological landmark thing. But it's like this really amazing pyramid that was kind of lost and then kind of found, and then it's from the Mayan. It is from the Mayan, the great ancient civilization of the Mayans. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but Mayans are still around. They did not go anywhere. Okay, they're still around, but this specific civilization had fallen out of use. And this thing right here is like a special, the way that the sun lines up on the winter solstice and the summer solstice, it looks like a snake is crawling down the side or something. So people been doing stuff on the winter solstice and to celebrate it and all of that for a very long time. And I do hate to inform you that they would throw the virgins into the sacrifice, for this occasion. That's what they told me. That's what they told me when I toured it. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay. But I loved it, and nobody better not say anything bad about it because I loved it. I mean, obviously we could probably do without the sacrificing of the people, but they like built this thing up to where it's like specifically it's specifically angled to such that on the solstice, the summer solstice or whatever, the light like goes down the side of the thing, and it's all, specially lined, and every country you go to has an ancient civilization that was like worrying about the solstice. So is this Diddy's? That's what I want to know. Is this the freak-offs making 50 videos leading up to the solstice? Is that's what he was doing instead of whatever they used to be doing? I don't know. I don't think he's from the Mayan culture, by the way. I said every culture does this, where they honor the solstice with architecture and celebrations or rituals. This goes back a long time, like I don't know, like 12,000 years or something. I don't know, it's just things to think about. Okay, we have an update from the Washington Post. If y'all can't tell, I'm kind of trying to stall a little bit because they're just watching freak off tapes, and we're sitting here 10 minutes between tweets. So I'm just trying to keep everybody awake. Okay. 2 minutes ago, Washington Post, Homeland Security Special Agent, now discussing flight records. Okay, they moved on from freak offs. Now they're on flight records. These records show that Diddy paid for Jane and others to travel to participate in the freak-offs in various cities. These cities included LA and Miami. Okay, so what does that show? Why are they saying these things? First of all, Diddy paid. So did Diddy pay? Did Combs Enterprises pay? I don't know. But this could perhaps qualify as a, quote, commercial purpose. There's something of value being exchanged, a plane ticket. People were traveling to participate. What does that show? Interstate, cross state lines, bringing it up to the federal jurisdiction. Also, in addition to bringing it to federal jurisdiction, it is a prerequisite required element for one of the things he's charged with, which is the transportation of people for the purpose of sexual substitution, which does not require consent. Okay. Excuse me. Which does not require coercion. Okay. So this here, a lot of people have been saying Jane seemed willing. Or, Cassie seemed willing, or they were the ones that were, picking these guys or whatever. All that's fine and good, y'all. There's a whole entire crime that Diddy is charged with that is not in any way requiring coercion, fraud, force, kidnap, none of it. It could have been consensual, but he was flying one in from LA and one in from California, one in from LA and one in from Miami, or one in from New York and one in from LA, or whatever. That's crossing state lines everywhere. That makes it qualify as the, transportation of people across state lines for the purposes of a commercial S act. Again, no fraud required, no coercion, no kidnapping, no snatching somebody, no kicking, no discomfort. It's just a crime. It's like the same way as like you and your friends sit down and do an illicit substance. Maybe y'all bought it, maybe y'all wanted to, maybe y'all took it in together, maybe y'all did activities together, but it's the crime. Allegedly, you're innocent until proven guilty as it goes. I'm gonna call it the Diddy Solstice celebration. Okay. Let's go back to Inner City Press. Okay, we do have some more tweets. Thank God. Okay. So where we left off was the judge kind of trying to tell Maureen Comey to turn the screens back on so he stops getting cussed out by everybody and, lawyers and etc. He's like, can you turn the screens back on? What are you doing? Your Honor, we're about to show an exhibit with Jane's true name, and we didn't have time to redact it over the last several months. If you'd like me to be turning it on and off, Yeah, you're supposed to turn it on and off. That's your job. Thanks. Okay, next question. Whose name is on the American Express bill? It's Diddy. It's Diddy's Amex. Okay, and what was the cost for this stay? It was almost $3,000. $2,890. Who paid for Jane's travel? Please turn off the public screen. Bad boy. Bad boy. Not Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Personal Combs. No, ma'am. Bad boy. And what is that? What are they trying to show with that? Enterprise. That he used his business cards to do his freaky S acts. And if it so happens that your freaky S acts are criminal, then you just pulled into a criminal enterprise. Oops. Allegedly. That's what they're here to try to prove. Obviously, I don't know if he's guilty or not. I mean, I wasn't there. I can't even see the freaking exhibits. I can't even see the stuff that ain't even really that secret looking. So what do I know? Okay, but Bad boy paid for flights for S workers. I'll say. Okay. Who paid for Jane's travel? It was Bad Boy. And who paid for Cabral's travel? Oh, that was Jane. Okay. And what is this? That's a wire. Who sent the wire? Who sent it? Was it Robin? That's what I want to know. What is this? It's a wire. From Diddy to Jane for $5,000. So I'm assuming this is to reimburse her, right? Who paid for Jane's ticket? Bad Boy Records. And who paid for Cabral's ticket? Well, Jane paid for that one. But then later, did Jane get reimbursed? Yes. And who reimbursed her? Diddy. Okay. That one might be a little bit more like personal, he could say, well, I reimbursed her with my own personal money. Bad Boy didn't reimburse her. According to this special agent. Robin Greenhill. Boom, 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 boom. I knew it. Play with your mama, don't play with me. I knew it. Does Robin Greenhill write, please send 5,000 to Jane? But then she said her true name. Yes. And who's being paid for here? Oh, so who is being paid for? Okay, let me retweet because it's not like, they're not moving at a snail's pace anyway. Okay, breaking. Robin Greenhill instructed someone to wire $5,000 to Jane for what? Reimbursing S work? Okay, hold on. To Jane. Robin instructing someone to wire $5,000 to Jane. Robin Greenhill, TikTok. Justice for Brittany. Robin Greenhill writes, please send $5,000 to Jane. Who's being paid for here? The public screen is still off. This is Brendan Paul, Cabral Williams, and Jane Doe. This is all with the American Express. And then we have Jessica Ruiz, Opco LLC. Who is Jessica Ruiz? There was a Jennifer Ruiz, I think, in the Share saga. Yep. Look, Diddy Doggett is like, TriStar enters the chats. Yep. Oh, hello. Hello, puppet. Hello, puppet. Okay, let's see if there's anything new on Washington Post. Discussing flight records related to Jane's travel history. These records show Diddy paid for Jane and others to travel and participate in freak-offs in various cities, including LA and Miami. We have a new update from NBC News. S workers' travel records linked to Diddy's Amex. Jurors were shown flight and hotel records for Cabral, an S worker mentioned frequently in this trial, whose travels appeared to be paid for by Diddy. Prosecutors showed that Cabral stayed at the Trump International Hotel and Tower in New York in September 2023 after arriving on an Atlanta to Newark flight. This was all on Diddy's Amex. While this could be one of the more tame, non-explicit pieces of evidence in this trial, it could be crucial for prosecutors seeking to paint Diddy as the alleged head of a criminal enterprise. Okay, this is The Independent. Jurors watch more than 10 minutes of freak-off footage. Jurors have been shown at least 13 different clips of sexually explicit videos on Monday, while a special agent with Homeland Security investigations testifies. The videos were filmed in November and December 2021, and also in 2022 in February, August, and October. Federal agents discovered at least 50 sexually explicit videos in Diddy's possession that were created from December 17th through December 21st, 2021. When jurors see explicit videos, they view them with private screens and headphones so the public and members of the media cannot see them. We need a Robin. We need a Robin Greenhill has entered the chat like emoji or something. Thank you so much to Mimi Lightseer for the $10 super chat. These stay trying it. We ain't going. You better back up off my knees, she said. Y'all better. She's going to come get y'all. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you, Renee Divo, for the $2. You're amazing. Forget them haters. Lots of heart. Lots of love. Thank you so much, Renee. Thank you, Kellyanne, for the 20-pound super chat. Kellyanne Powell, BJ, what am I going to do when this case is finished? Thank you so much for covering this. I've loved every minute. I hope he gets locked up for life. Kelly from the UK. Shout out to the UK folks in the chats. Seriously. Thanks so much, Brandon, for the $5 Canadian. Thank you, Crystal, Hiker Mom, for the $4.99. Will you be looking more into the Wendy Williams lawsuit that her husband filed? Yeah, that one's on the list too. I'm very interested to see how that whole thing is going to play out. Me too. Thank you so much for that $4.99. Thank you, Lori, for the $9.99. Please do Brian Koberger case. And by the way, the You Are Beautiful. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Lori. I'm going to have to catch up on that one. So far, I've kind of been like, yawn. But I know a lot of people are into it. So maybe there's something that's like exciting there I'm just missing. I will look into it. Thanks so much to New Life Plan for the $10 super chat. What is flow from here? After the prosecution stops deposing witness testimony, what happens next? So what is going to happen next from what I understand? I don't really exactly know, but this is what I think is going to happen. This is what I understand. They're going to finish up with this guy tomorrow. Diddy's side is just going to have somebody sit up there and read exhibits, and then they're going to be done. And then Wednesday, there's going to be what's called a charge conference, and they could start deliberating. After the charge conference on Thursday, they're expecting closing arguments. So the two sides get their closing arguments. Now, does that mean jury deliberation starts on Thursday after the closing arguments? Does that mean jury deliberation? I don't know. If it starts Friday, if it starts before that, does that mean all of this is actually going to go on time? What if there's surprise witnesses, etc.? So I really don't know, but thank you for that $10 super chat. Thank you, Joyful Lady Bug. Murad Murali, mention your YouTube channel and some filings. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. Thank you for the $4.99. Thank you, Zulia, for the gifting a membership. And thank you so much, New Life Plan, for the $50 super chat. CE Opco LLC allocation could be huge. The owners of more than 40 companies under Diddy's business umbrella. Yes, I did know that they owned some Kim Porter IP. The registered agent is TriStar. Did Rest Fest, Combs Global, and other entities pay a portion? That sounds RICO-y to me, New Life Plan says. Listen, I think this witness is for the RICO and the institution and the other stuff. I think this witness is the summary witness. But yeah, they did say that, right? Opco, didn't they say that? Thank you so much to Leia, Julia, BJ here, your Barcelona fan. I'm going to work by Subway watching you. An American seated on my side was elated when she saw you on my phone screen. That is so cute. Shout out to the Barcelona fam in the chat, even though y'all are not the most hospitable. Whenever tourists are coming over there, girl, I see how y'all be acting on it. But that's okay. I know I'm welcome. I know I'm welcome by the Barcelona cousins. So, that's all I can really ask for at this moment. And shout out to you being a member for 10 months. That's so funny that an American was like, what's that? What's that over there in Barcelona? Damien said, TriStar is finally going to get their just desserts. Keep up the great work. Who knows? Who knows? I know that was so cute. People are saying cute. Who's Raffles Van Allen T. Jacobs? I don't even know who that is. Obviously, I know who Ray J is. I'm about to look it up. Raffles? Is that a real name? Raffles Allen. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. T. Jacobs is on. I know. But who said that is like not the American all in her phone? We are nosy. Oh, that's funny. That's the Diddy try. Oh, girl. Y'all, look at this. Y'all knew about this? Whitney Houston's friend Raffles Van XL admits to removing substances from hotel room. Come forward about removing them from her hotel room. Huffington Post reports that the coroner's office confirmed there was substances involved in her death, but no trace of substances found in her room. This friend, who considers himself a highly respected entertainment consultant, claimed that the room had to be emptied. After the LA County coroner's office confirmed that substances was involved in Whitney's death, many were left wondering why. If the illegal substance was found in her system, there was none in the room. Well, a source then came forward confirming that he wiped the room clean of any evidence that would lead to suspicion of illegal activity. According to a translation of the Dutch newspaper The Telegraph, a man named Raffles Van XL came forward 4 days after Whitney died, admitting that he cleaned the hotel room, but he did not reveal exactly what he removed from the scene. This is an article from 2012. This is more than 10 years ago. I'd never even heard of this man. So yeah, I do want to look into Whitney Houston. I did request her autopsy report, and I do have it. Also have Aaron Carter's. So those are some of the things that I'll also be getting into, in the coming weeks. Okay. Five minutes ago, CNN did do another update. Records detail September 2023 New York City trip. The special agent walked through another chart that he says maps out records surrounding September 2023 trip that Jane took with Diddy to New York City. The chart shows flight and hotel records for Jane, who testified under a pseudonym in this trial, 2021 to 2024, and also an entertainer called Sly. They put entertainer in quotes. Records show hotel stays at the Trump International Hotel in Manhattan, a credit card paid for by Bad Boy Entertainment, paid for Jane's travel, according to records. They show Jane paid for Sly's transportation, but was sent $5,000 by Diddy's account manager. Again, still refusing. CNN is refusing to mention Robin freaking Greenhill. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. They're refusing at CNN to mention Robin freaking Greenhill. They're just mentioning account manager. Why are they doing this? Why would they be hiding is a good question. My prediction is because they get celebrity tea and celebrity stories from TriStar Sports and Entertainment. And if they keep throwing their names out, if these media, sources keep throwing out Robin Greenhill's name, then they're going to just stop getting the sources. So then what's going to separate CNN from the likes of, like, I don't know, me? They got to keep getting their little secret source. They got to keep everybody happy, keep everybody fed over there. So I think that's why they're covering up on purpose. They're on purpose covering up Robin Greenhill's name. They're saying Sly's name. They're saying everybody else's dang name. They won't say who is the account manager around that time. It's the accountant, Robin Greenhill. Please, for the love of God, CNN, what's the big freaking secret? The records show Jane paid for Sly's transportation, but was sent $5,000 by Robin Greenhill. I'll say the name. Don't worry. I'm not freaking scared. Huh. The travel arrangements were booked by Diddy's travel manager. Now, this one is the Ruiz, I think. And I don't know how CE Opco finds its way down in here without knowing more, without knowing what was said within the transcripts. Okay, so S Worker was in New York around the time, this is just now Sky News. S Worker was in New York around the time of music awards and key ceremony. Remember whenever Diddy got the key to the city, the keys to the New York City or whatever? Following some more explicit clips, jurors were shown flight and hotel records for an S worker mentioned throughout the trial. That's Sly. So they don't mention his name here. Cabral/Sly. His travel journeys appear to have been paid for by Diddy. The prosecutors showed that the S worker stayed at Trump International Hotel and Tower in New York in September 2023 after arriving on a flight from Atlanta to Newark, New Jersey. This was paid for on Diddy's American Express card. In the same month, he appeared at the MTV Video Music Awards, that's the VMAs, in New Jersey, where he was honored with the Global Icon Award. I thought the VMAs were in Vegas. He also was handed a key to New York City at a ceremony in Times Square, and this was all around the same time, September 2023. Okay, so we do have a little bit of an analysis from the Washington Post about why won't Diddy's defense be calling witnesses. She says, this is Shayna Jacobs. It's not unusual for defense team to refrain from calling witnesses at trial. So this happens a lot, I guess. They have no obligation to disprove a case because the burden is entirely on the prosecution to prove charges beyond a reasonable doubt. This is true. The fact that there will be no defense witnesses could mean Diddy's team believes it's already established enough doubt during cross-examination, but it could also mean there's just no witnesses available that could help them. Diddy's team has argued that while he was violent, he did not coerce his accusers. Rather, the women voluntarily participated in freak-offs repeatedly over long stretches of time, according to the defense. Cassie, arguably the most important witness for the government, sent a number of text messages and emails to Diddy in which she enthusiastically talks about wanting to take part in the freak-offs. She testified she received $20 million in a settlement from Diddy year before last or last year after she accused him in a 2023 lawsuit of years of abuse. Last year, CNN also released a video of Diddy punching, kicking, and dragging Cassie in an LA hotel room in 2016. Now, that footage did tarnish Diddy's reputation and exposed a history of physical violence of which the jury has seen extensive evidence. Now, prosecutors contend that Diddy and his circle of enablers on his payroll trapped Cassie and other victims into cycles of control and intimidation, coercing them into substance fueled S encounters that they did not wish to participate in. Hold on, I had to check some messages. Okay, we're going to go back to Inner City Press. Okay. So the last tweet that we read on the Inner City Press thread was this one about Robin Greenhill, which CNN for some reason just only wants to call the account manager. But don't worry, we'll say her name over here so nobody's going to forget it. Does Robin Greenhill from TriStar Sports and Entertainment write, please sent $5K to Jane? Yes. And who is being paid for here? Brendan Paul, Cabral Williams, and Jane with the Amex. Also Jessica Ruiz and Opco LLC. That was the most recent. We already read that one. So then next, Special Agent. Do you recognize this? Oh, it has Jane's information on it. Sorry, we need to keep the public screens off. Of course, they're just going to keep everything freaking hidden from us. Any and everything. They couldn't even put a little black bar redaction. Please walk us through the columns of this chart. He says, okay, it has to and from. It also has the content. It has the source of the information. So these are the columns of this spreadsheet or this chart, this table. Okay, what is this? This is Jane Doe, asking Diddy, should we have Jess, that's the travel agent, look into flights? So Jane is asking Diddy, so she thinks she's his girlfriend, asking Diddy, should we have the travel agent look into flights? Okay, let's look at the exhibit. And this is from Diddy to Jane. Again, the public screen is off. They are literally about to get sued by these news organizations for constitutional violations, and they couldn't bother to just redact a few more exhibits. It's just really, honestly, astronomically stupid and unexplainable. It's inexplicable. I can't explain it. Okay, let's look at this exhibit. No, the public can't see it, so who goddamn knows what in the hell it even is? Who knows? Could be anything. Apparently, some type of text from Diddy to Jane, back to Jane. So just to remind y'all, they're looking, I guess, at text messages. I really don't know. Again, they're not up on the public screens. But what is this? It's Jane asking Diddy, should we have the travel agent look at flights? Okay, next exhibit. Then Diddy asks her back, when can you come? She just says night. And then what? Then Jane says, I'm not coming to New York. We already saw these exhibits previously in the trial, but this is where Jane is like, I don't want to come to New York. She says, I feel disrespected. You just want me for a hotel binge. Then Jane writes, I don't want to be used and locked in a room to fulfill your fantasies. Diddy says, that was just podcast talk. Remember, he went on the podcast with Young Miami and he was talking about 40 hours on a yacht or whatever. Then what? Well, then Jane writes, I don't want to feel obligated to perform these nights for you for fear of losing the roof over my head. And then Diddy responds, girl, stop. And then he sends some audio messages. Now, this is Diddy trying to, kind of like minimize Jane's concerns, minimize her feelings. Also, apparently, it's him trying to get her just to come down there because he knows that if he can just get her to come down there or up there to New York, then, probably a freak off will happen anyway. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to show. So like, what do these texts say? And it's like Jane being like, I feel disrespectful. I feel disrespected. You just want to use me. You just want to, do this hotel binge crap. I don't want to feel obligated. Da 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 da. And this all is before, I believe this is all before Cassie filed a lawsuit. Okay. And here's Diddy on the back end on the other side with the credit cards and the Robin Greenhills and the thises and the that's and, getting everything all kind of set up. That's how it was kind of presented to us during Jane's testimony. So now they're revisiting those text messages. I don't want to feel obligated to perform these nights for fear of losing the roof over my head. And then Diddy just says, girl, stop. And then they go back and forth with some voice notes. I am updating NBC News. Okay, let's update CNN. They need to update. Let's just go. Why not tweet them, right? Let's just go tweet. Let's just go tweet them at CNN. Hold on. Let's go tweet them. Dear CNN, it appears someone at your website constantly misses the name of the account manager being named at Diddy trial. Her name is Robin Greenhill. Just to make it easier for y'all. And then I posted their little website thing. Wait. Okay. So she's like, I don't want to feel obligated to perform these nights for you for fear of losing the roof over my head. And Diddy says, girl, stop. And then some audio messages are sent. And then what does Jane send to Diddy? Well, then she sends a photo and asks, I didn't have time to bring the heels if someone can get them. And what does Diddy text Jane over here? He asks in this text message, movie or entertainment tonight? Let me know if hotel is needed. Movie. And that means watching their own freak off tapes and doing, untoward activities. Okay. The witness, this is a minute ago from Washington Post. The witness is now reading texts between Jane and Diddy, in which he tried to get her to travel for a freak off in 2023. But Jane told KK she did not want to meet him because she felt used. Quote, it's clear you just want me there to use me for a hotel binge. You got plenty of garden tools for that, she wrote to Diddy around that time. She later changed her mind after chatting with Diddy directly, and she decided to go. So this is all going on around the time he got the key to the city, too. They can't, I'm not letting them forget. Hefna Group said the Tupac trial in Las Vegas requires your coverage. I have covered some of it. but they pushed that trial off. Like, it's not even happening. Like, when did they push it off till? Let me hold on. Keefe D, right? Keefe D trial postponed. Let me see if I can find some. Yeah, look. This is, let me turn on the reader view. This is Rolling Stone. This is an article from February. Tupac on a live trial pushed to 2026 after new evidence emerges. This is from February, so like 4 months ago. It was set to begin in March. So it's set to begin before Diddy's trial. It's now pushed off to next year. The Nevada judge, is it Nevada judge overseeing the case agreed to postpone the trial date at a hearing in February. After lawyers for Keefe D, the defendant, filed a motion seeking to delay the start of trial, citing the need for new witnesses and new witness interviews and further investigation. Keefe D's lawyers filed a motion saying new witness testimony from a private investigator could prove that Keefe D was not in Vegas at the time of the unaliving in 1996, but the motion also claimed that new evidence had come out that could prove someone else orchestrated his unaliving. Now, what evidence could have come out while Diddy was about to go on trial is anybody's guess, okay? Now that lead may need to be investigated, right? So this is called like an alternative theory of the case. Like, I didn't unalive him. I can tell you who unalived him. It's this person, and two people can't be doing it. It's got to be this person, and there's evidence for it. So let me show the jury this evidence. That lead needs to be investigated, Keefe D's lawyers claimed before the originally scheduled March 2025 court date. At the hearing in February, the judge agreed to push the trial to February 2026. It looks like there's quite a few things that are left to be done to get this case prepared so that Mr. Keefe D can have effective assistance of counsel. But she also said, given that, it appears as though I really don't have much of a choice but to grant the motion to postpone the trial. Prosecutors confirmed that the state did not oppose the decision. So the state's just like, yeah, that's fine. We need more time too. He's charged with first degree unalive for his alleged role in Tupac's Pew Pew death. He pleaded not guilty and has been held without bail since his arrest. Prosecutors have claimed that he orchestrated the unaliving of Tupac and provided the Pew Pew used in the shooting. Authorities have alleged that unalive was a retaliation for a physical altercation between Tupac and Orlando Anderson after a big boxing match, a Mike Tyson fight that occurred just hours before. So there's a Mike Tyson fight. There's a little kershuffle, whatever you want to call it, between Tupac and this kid, Orlando Anderson, young man, Orlando Anderson, who neither one of these are any longer with us. Rest in peace and all of that. And then later on, there was a Pew Pew incident. All right. So while Keefe D has denied the charges against him, he also seemed to implicate himself in his own memoir, Compton Street Legend. Y'all need to stop with the self-snitching, in which he described the circumstances around Tupac's unaliving in great detail. So that one's going to be coming up in February. I might actually be able to cover that trial. Depends how long it is and things like that. But I will add that one onto the list. Hold on. I got a list going on. What's on it? I got the Rock Nation motion to dismiss the Hadley lawsuit. I got the Desiree Perez motion to dismiss the Hadley lawsuit. I got Fat Joe suing T.A. Dixon, and then T.A. Dixon then turning around and suing Fat Joe. That's the one that really made the news recently. And then the Keefe D trial. Okay, thank you for that. Request. Look, unaliving Pew Pew is crazy. Quit being so uptight. Listen, my last video, my live from Friday, is yellow. They made it a yellow $sign, y'all. Even with all of this. Shout out to my Uncle Tony in the chat. Anything you're covering, I'm here for it, BJ. Shout out to you. Thanks so much. Medea, I already did one. I did cover that case. Didn't I? Yeah, I went live. I went live. John Paul Jones said all his street cred embellishment shenanigans. I know. Okay, we have 2 new updates from NBC, allegedly. Diddy appears to be reading something in his lap. Oh, he's texting under the table, y'all. I don't really know. It might be a book. As texts between Jane and Diddy were discussed in court, he hung his head for several minutes. Dressed in a white sweater and glasses today, he appeared to be reading something in his lap. 2 minutes ago, NBC News, Jane didn't want to be locked in a room to fulfill Diddy's fantasies. This is text messages are showing in court. Diddy's former girlfriend, identified in court as Jane, lashed out at Diddy in September 2023 text messages. Now, this was 2 months before Diddy got sued by Cassie. So you can't say she was trying to money grab because she saw the Cassie lawsuit because it didn't come out yet. She texted, Jane Doe texted Diddy September 2023, 2 months before Cassie's lawsuit, that it's, quote, clear you just want me there for a hotel binge. You got plenty of ... garden tools for that. I don't want to be used and locked in a room to fulfill your fantasies. Sicko. Okay, she didn't really say sicko. I just made that part up, but everything else. Okay, let's go back to Inner City Press. How cute is this? Oh, I don't have the autofocus on. It's the little Mardi Gras cup. I don't even know what's the brand. It starts with an M. I got it from the Academy Sports and Outdoors in Baton Rouge like a year or 2 ago. Wow. Look, y'all. Look. Whoever was just telling me about the being uptight, look, Exhibit A right here 1 minute ago. And look, listen, I have no issues. I have no problems. I want the powers that be to like me. Truly, this is like my livelihood. I'm not trying to get removed off of here. And I do try to follow the rules. I try to follow the rules best I can. Okay. But Inner City Press is posting on Twitter. He made a song or a stand-up entirely based on things said in open court. It was deemed inappropriate, but at least still it's up, unlike the ban that led to moving Combs' trial books to Google Play. Okay. So remember I told y'all like I had it's over there. I have one of his books, the First Week book, and it was on Amazon. But after that first week, they wouldn't let him put his books up on Amazon anymore. So now he's on Google Play. But look, they demonetized his video. No ads or limited ads. You can still play it. But he made like a stand-up routine, like a comedy. So comedy is not allowed, and songs are not allowed. Okay. So see, that's why I'm saying pew pew. I'm trying to stay within the rules. I'm trying to stay within I ain't even gonna go over there and play it. Because want to know why? I think it's obvious. Okay. So let's go. We have some new tweets though here. Diddy, the most recent thing was like Diddy movie or entertainment night. So do you want to watch our previous freak off tapes, or do you want to make new freak off tapes? That's basically your options for the date, is what it looks like to me. Let me know if hotel is needed. Okay, and who are the participants here? That is Fahim Mohammed and Brendan Paul. About after the show, Jane is in town, room at Trump, man down. What is man down? What does man down mean? That means that nobody, they need a rest after the freak off. Okay, so who are the participants in this chat? It's Fahim Mohammed, that's the head of security, and it's Brendan Paul, that was an assistant. After the show, they said Jane is in town, room at Trump, the Trump International Hotel, and then man down. Jane is in town, room at Trump Hotel, man down. Okay, so that means they're tired, they need to take a nap. And the assistant U.S. attorney says, okay, Your Honor, I think this is a good time to take a break. Man down was like whenever they would just get to, I mean, I'm wondering if Kim Porter was man down. That's what I'm wondering. Less than a minute ago, jury takes a short break. They will be back in about 13 minutes. The assistant U.S. attorney, Maureen Comey, said that she does have more than an hour of questioning left for this guy. So, I mean, I am kind of just trying to kind of figure out, like, what are they going to possibly even still have left to say? You have okay, let me go check out, what is B Diddy? I don't know. I was advised by someone whose opinion I actually care about not to continue pulling things up on live without knowing what it is. So let me see. Let me see what this is. Wait, what case? Hold on. Which? Oh my God, this looks like a funny podcast. Wait, I have to check this podcast out. Where can I find the character at? B Diddy. Which video? I'm about to check that out. That looks funny though. Okay. Just like considering what we just. There goes that SEAL Team 6 talk. Yeah, exactly. Because remember, they wanted, Diddy said that he wanted his assistants to run like SEAL Team 6. I'm just updating our other sources. Everyone's saying they're going to be back at 11:15. That's about 11 minutes. Jerry takes a short break. She still has another hour of questioning. I don't know. Part of me still kind of like feels like part of me still feels like they're going to drop a big, other shoe or whatever. Man down, could it be that he wouldn't be reachable for the foreseeable? It could be. I don't really know exactly if they were using the code word for man down or if this was just saying man down something else, but they have talked about man down in this trial. I believe it was Cassie. Man down meant like you were out down for the count for a couple days. But I don't know. Maybe that's what they meant. Girl, I don't know. Y'all guess is as good as mine. Hi, BJ from Leanne over in Belfast, Northern Ireland. I want to learn how to lilt. Somebody teach me. Leanne, send me a lilting lesson. I listen to your coverage on my headphones every day while doing my housework. Shout out to you. You're simply the best. Sending so much love. That sounds fun. I want to be doing housework in Belfast, Northern Ireland. That sounds fun. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Minnesota and North Dakota, but shout out to them and prayers for them. I don't know what happened. They use man down since Cassie, said that one girl. Yeah. And Yasha said, me too. You want to be doing housework in Northern Ireland? Sounds fun. It sounds like there's probably like goats and sheeps running around and flowers in a meadow. I'm about to look it up. Let's see what Belfast, how you say it? Belfast, Northern Ireland. Ireland. Oh, it looks like, wait, it's like a city, girl. This ain't even the country. I was thinking like it's a pastures and look, y'all want to see it? It's this. Look at all the look, we got a little. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, girl, I don't know if you know this or not, but that's my house. I'm glad they're keeping it up. I'm glad they're keeping up my house. What is that beautiful building? Stop. Oh my God, what is that? Looks like a prison yard, girl. What were they doing in here? Is this a panopticon? Is it a fort? It looks like a prison. They got bars on the windows. Look how pretty. Yeah, I want to be going over there. I want to go to Kazakhstan too. Waiting for the what? Phil Diddy knows something we don't. No witnesses is crazy. I mean, listen, no goats. They're like, no, there's no goats over there. No, it's a city. They're like, no, ma'am. No. Like, no, it's no goats. Okay, well, someone tell me where there's goats. I want to see like one of those like Ireland countryside, the green. I don't know if y'all ever saw Switzerland before, but they have that too. Um, yeah, that's my house too. They have them all over. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but they have my houses all over the place. I need to get Aaliyah's autopsy. I don't know if it would still be available or they had it. If you're just joining, hi, hello. They're on a brief break from court. They're doing a bathroom break. They should be back in about 8 minutes. Let's see. I'm gonna look up Diddy's docket. Oh wait, Tamisha. First of all, Bertrand is a very Cajun last name. You might be my cousin. And second of all, is this Squim Washington from 90 Day Fiance with Natalie and what was that other guy? It did look like y'all did have goats over there. Okay, let's go to Sequim, Washington. We're just doing this to, pass the time. Sequim. I don't know if I've ever even been. Y'all, look at this. When you just type that in, look at all these purple flowers. Oh, I definitely want to go over there. Oh, I definitely want to go over there. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. They got a beach too, y'all. And mountains. Oh, my God. I'm not going in the winter, though. I'm not going in the winter. You cannot trick me into doing that. Look at that. I'll go in the summer, though. That looks really beautiful. That's amazing. That is amazing. I thought Belfast, Ireland was. Oh, my God. Is this true? I thought it was like some like middle of nowhere thing. Switzerland is so lovely, except recently an iceberg fell on a town and buried it. Oh, girl. No, thank you. Sunflower said that she lives an hour. Yeah, lavender fields. It probably smells so good. I want mini goats, somebody said. I did see Mark Lata's girlfriend died in allegedly a bathtub. That's very interesting to me. Oh, really? They built the Titanic in Belfast. Oh, okay. Wait, I kind of remember that opening scene where they're like playing poker or whatever, and then Jack like gets on the boat. Is that true? Okay. Sunflower said, look up Whidbey Island. Oh my God, Janet, I want to come to Scotland so bad. I want to be out there on the Highlands, girl. I want to. Pay for the $4.99. Okay, hold on. What am I looking up? We're doing show and tell with where y'all live, okay, while we wait 5 more minutes for them to come back from court. Okay, let's see. Whidbey is land. Oh, girl, this looks bougie. This looks like it's for rich people. Is this by Bainbridge? Wait a second. Jonathan Perez got arrested? No way. This looks beautiful. Wow. It's an island? Whoa. Oh my God. What's that? Oh my God. No, we're not going there. That's the Boeing headquarters. Hold on. Explain yourself with this Boeing. Oh, it looks so beautiful. Look at that bridge. Just look how high and tall it is. Wow. I love tall. Like, I grew up in the flat, like very flat terrain. I know. Scottish accents are the best, and it's like one of the few that I just cannot do. Yeah, I know. I want to go to the Grand Canyon one day. I've never even been. Shout out to New Orleans. And I grew up in Louisiana, so I already know what New Orleans looks like. New Orleans is beautiful. It really is. It's beautiful. But like, I would say the most amazing thing about New Orleans is the culture, the people, the vibe, the feeling, and all that. Look up Mackinac Island in Michigan. I don't know if I've ever been to Michigan. I've been to Canada. So I've been like farther up, but let's see. What am I looking up? Mackinac Island. It is so pretty. Whoa. Look at that. Look at that. Whoa. Is this one of the lakes, the Great Lakes? Oh my God, look. Imagine you just sitting right there and you looking at that water. Oh my gosh, look at the cute little town. Is this even real? This is cute. Shout out to Michigan. Look at that rock formation. This is the Mackinac Island State Park. If you're wondering why I'm looking at the sceneries, it's because we're waiting for them to come back from their bathroom break. Look at that. It looks very New England, even though I know that, Michigan's not in New England. Look at that. That's beautiful. Yeah, I approve. I approve. Okay, wait, we have some updates here. Can we move on? Oh my gosh, they don't even let cars go over there. No wonder it's so nice. Everybody's saying that. I'm from Michigan. I don't think I've ever been over there, y'all. It's land. Yeah, whenever I'm like typing it, I'd sound it out, but like I know it's island, y'all. I know. Bourbon Street does not smell good. I have to agree. The history is awesome. Have Kim Oh, you do. Kim Poke buried at the cathedral. Shout out to you and them. Martha's Vineyard is beautiful, but then I might get sold into somebody's cult or something if I go over there, Karen. Just kidding. Just kidding. Usher is from Chattanooga. Somebody said go to Chattanooga. I've been to Chattanooga before, at least. Brittany said, I went to New Orleans for a family reunion when I was like 8, and I remember being so shocked walking to a store and seeing what on the beads. I know it is a little bit grotesque. I do LMAO at me spelling it wrong. That's the dirty glove coming. I don't care. It pulled it up. It pulled it up. Blue Lagoon, Iceland. 40 minutes away. Wait, Rosa, you live in Iceland? That's really freaking cool. Okay. Well, JJ, how am I get around if there's no cars? Let a cousin know. I would love to show you. Should we have a meet and greet in this Mackinac Island? Let's have a Mackinac Island, Michigan meet and greet. Why not? That would be fun. We could sell tickets. Okay. We have an update here. Jurors have watched at least 40 minutes of sexually explicit videos so far. Throughout the time the videos were played, it was silent in the courtroom. Many of the jurors were paying attention, but there were moments when 2 jurors closed their eyes. At this point in the trial, the jurors have watched at least 40 minutes total of the sexually explicit videos. And, this is one of those things that comes up where it's like, you want to strike a balance where you're not like, just exposing these poor, like unsuspecting members of the public to the most debauched things they ever saw. But you do need to show them enough of it so that they know what actually went on. And they have a realistic depiction and a realistic view of what happened. Diddy asked the male girl, then he's cheap. Then he is cheap. Diddy asked a male escort agency not to raise his rate because he was a regular customer. The texts showed. Diddy was such a frequent user of a male escort agency that he argued that he deserved cut rates, according to text messages with the provider. This Cowboys for Angels, I'm saying it again. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I have a feeling they're going to be subjected to their own lawsuits or possibly federal investigations themselves. That's just my feeling. Okay. They freaking delete stuff while I'm in the middle of reading it, and it aggravates me. Okay, well, I guess we have to wait for them to put it back up. Okay, we have another. Did we read this one already? Testified about flight, phone, and financial records that he says show Diddy paid for an S worker to travel across the country for freak-offs. One flight and hotel record shows the S worker stayed at Trump International Hotel in New York in September 2023 after taking a flight from Atlanta to Newark. Those transactions were paid for by Diddy. Court went on a break. They should be filing back into the courtroom. If they haven't already, they should already be back in. It's 11:16. They're supposed to be back a minute ago. Look at this 9 minutes ago, The Independent. Inside the courtroom, Diddy listens to freak off footage. Jurors watched 14 clips of 7 S encounters, but they had the headphones on. During the first clip of 14, Diddy was shifting in his chair and looking around as if he were uncomfortable. He can only listen to the audio of these clips because the explicit videos aren't shown on attorney screens. So he couldn't see them in there either, but the judge has allowed him to view what the jury views in a side room. Okay, 3 minutes ago, Jane texted to Diddy, "I don't want to be used and locked in a room to fulfill your fantasies." This is Sky News. The court now hears about a message from Jane, not her real name, who dated Diddy from 21 to 24 and gave testimony earlier in the trial. According to the messages read out loud in court, she was angry. Jane was angry at Diddy in September 2023 and said she refused to meet him in New York City. "I am not coming to New York. I feel disrespected." The court heard that she apparently said, quote, "It is clear you just want me there for a hotel binge." She told Diddy she told Diddy he had plenty of other women or S workers he could contact. Quote, "I don't want to be used and locked in a room to fulfill your fantasies." Diddy, who is dressed in a white sweater and wearing glasses, appeared to be reading something in his lap as messages were read aloud. Okay, so NBC put this article back, this little update back up that they had previously deleted while I was in the middle of reading it, about Diddy asking the Cowboy and Angel escort agency not to raise his rate. Look, they just deleted it freaking again. Oh my God. Can y'all stop? I'm about to take a screenshot of it next time. Okay, let's go to Inner City Press. Woo, that tea. It's got pepper in it or something spicy. But it's good for your, vocal track and all that. Okay. They put it back up? Yeah. All right. So he's texting a Cowboy for Angel representative named Bridget. September 2023. Now, this is the same month that what's her name? Jane was starting to express issues and saying, or she had already done so, but this was one of the months that she was like, "I don't want to do all this anymore, all this." Lashed out, "Clear you just want me for this, da 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 da." Can y'all stop deleting my thing? Thank you. And then here's Bridget, so she's texting about that, and here's Diddy. "Stop raising my rate. I am a long timer." The Cowboys for Angels representative said it really wasn't up to them. It's up to the worker. And this was Cody. And he said, "The best guys have high rates." She said she was contractually obligated. Y'all see they keep deleting that thing, huh? They keep deleting it. Oh my God. NBC is my least favorite. Really, actually, it's like NBC and Daily Mail, but I can't even take Daily Mail seriously at all. Like, no. Because I know they lie. They sent Hermania Rodriguez or whatever her name is up on Nancy Grace to lie about me. That's why I don't take Nancy Grace seriously, and you're never going to see me arfing like a seal over no Nancy needs to put down the bottle. Grace, okay? The woman needs to enter into, speaking of rehab, if anybody could benefit, I'm not an expert. I don't know. But, yeah, no thank you on her. Okay, so thank God Sky News is going to also report on the "I'm a long timer," because NBC don't know how to keep an article up for long enough for somebody to read it. "I'm a long timer," Diddy told escort agency in message about rates. Jurors are still hearing about events from September 2023. At this time, in a message to an escort agency he used frequently called Cowboys for Angels, Diddy asked for lower rates. In a chat with a representative for Cowboys for Angels, September 2023, this 2 months before he end up getting sued by Cassie, he wrote, quote, "Stop raising my rate. I am a long timer." However, the agent told him it wasn't up to the firm. It was up to the worker. "The best guys have high rates, Diddy." You don't want the best guys, then you can pay less money. But he relented, saying, all right, fine, it's all good. Asked the S worker to get to the Trump International Hotel and Tower, New York for 1 a.m. Now, this is what I want to know. Does Cowboys for Angels get a cut of this rate? If so, are they making money off of criminal commercial S acts? I mean, like I said, I really do think Cowboys for Angels is already under investigation. I don't know. I wasn't there. The agent said it wasn't up to the company, but the worker himself, Bridget, that's the agent, added that she was contractually obligated to the rates on the website. Diddy said, fine, that's okay. And he asked Cody to come to the Trump International Hotel and Tower for 1 a.m. Okay. If there's any remaining uncertainty, if there's any remaining doubt of what the Cowboy for Angel was coming up to do, I mean, he showed up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, inner city press has not yet started tweeting back from the break yet. They were on a break till 1:15. It is now, 11:15. It is now 11:23. So we're like, 8 minutes overdue. Okay, now the Independent is updating about the long timer thing. Let's see if they get any additional information or context here. I'm a long timer. Diddy asked male escort agency to stop raising rates. Now, don't you remember the very first, escort we heard from, or supposed entertainer that we heard from, was like, Diddy said, I've been having problems with your boss. Can I just reach out straight to you now or whatever? And now here he is being like, having problems with somebody's boss. And in September, okay, he used one particular male escort agency so often that he asked the agent to stop raising their rates on him, according to text messages seen in court. In a September 2023 text, Diddy asked a representative from Cowboys for Angels to stop raising his rate because he's a long timer. So in addition to just like making him not look that good, why are the feds putting this in? Why is the government putting this evidence in? Like, why does anybody need to know this? Well, it shows Diddy is negotiating prices. Diddy cares about how much stuff costs. Diddy admitting to using this service for this purpose over and over. Diddy having issues with the price of something means he's paying for it. What do we care about paying for it for? Because it is for a commercial purpose, and that is an element of one of the crimes he is charged with. Now, Cassie previously testified that the two often used Cowboy for Angel when looking for a third person to do their freak-offs. Ultimately, the agency representative told Diddy that it was individuals who raised their rates, not the company. Judge is back on the bench, and this guy is expected to continue his testimony. The special agent is back on the stand, and the jury is now finally entering 10 minutes late. They don't do nothing on time over there, it seems. Okay, they're back. Okay, next, let's look at some text messages. What does Fahim Muhammad, the head of Diddy's security, text to Jonathan Perez, the assistant? He texted. So this is Fahim. We on the way up in the elevator with Jane. Okay, so it's a text showing that Fahim was texting Diddy, hey, we on the way up right now in the elevator with Jane. Okay, what is this exhibit? That is a Trump International Hotel record. So I don't know, it's maybe some type of receipt or something. What does Frank Rodriguez text to Fahim? Who is Frank Rodriguez? Maybe an assistant. I'm really not sure, but somebody texts Fahim. Okay, so Fahim's like, we're on the way up. We in the elevator on the way up. texts this to Jonathan Perez. And then there's a hotel record. And then Frank Rodriguez, whoever that is, texts to this guy, right? Fahim, the one in the elevator and all that. Bring Gucci bag. And what do we know? What do we know is in the Gucci bag, everybody? Things that don't belong in the Balenciaga, if you know what I mean. Somebody said Gucci should sue for brand tarnishing. And then it's just making me think Gucci gang, Gucci this, Gucci Tucci. I mean, it's just kind of like the possibilities are really endless. Stop raising my rate. I'm a long timer. Okay, so look, this is like having a text from actual Diddy saying that. Okay. What does Jane text to Cabral Williams, who is an S worker that's sly? She texts, "Would you like to come to New York City?" And then what does Fahim text to Jane? "Will come with the cash." Okay, so we got all kind of text messages flying to and fro. Maybe I should pull up my little web. Jane texts the S worker, "Would you like to come to New York City?" Fahim, the head of security, then texts Jane, "He's coming with the cash." Then Jane texts the same S worker back again, "Just need your date of birth and driver's license number," because remember she said she was asking for his driver's license number, date of birth, and all that so that she could buy him a plane ticket. Just updating through all the different sources. He's a long timer. I can't believe you said that. I mean, I can, but ugh. Okay. Caramel Peach said, so the defense witness will be summary witnesses from the paralegal? I guess so. It seems like they're not actually calling any witnesses. So I don't know if they're just going to stand up there and read it or what. Thanks so much to Leslie Ann Nori for the £1 super chat. Okay, so also, I'm gonna say thank you to y'all, but I'm gonna get back to the looking things up a little later. But thank you for the $4.99 sunflower. I'm gonna look it up. Oh wait, I already looked that one up. Okay, so I already did that one. Thank you, Doree. Look up Door County, Wisconsin. Thank you for the $2. I will do that in a little while when we have a little downtime. Thank you to Robin for the £4.99. Love from the Yorkshire Dales, UK. Look it up. You'll love it here. I bet you I will. That sounds like more like what I was thinking. Like goats are there and little frolicking animals and flowers and things. Hi from Denmark. Shout out to you, Flower Power Princess. Thank you for that 45. It's 5:25 p.m. over there. Seeing you every day and love your coverage. Thank you so much for that. Shout out to you and thank you for that 45. Shout out to Denmark in the chat. Okay, so we're caught up on Inner City Press's tweets, just waiting for him to tweet something else. Washington Post, we're caught up. Okay, NBC, we're caught up. CNN, caught up. The Independent. Yeah, everybody's just kind of like updating this, like, don't raise my rates, I'm a long timer. Piece. Okay, that's Sky News. Thanks so much to Shay for the $19.99. Hey, BJ, you do amazing work on both your channels. I binge watched all the crazy Lou Taylor videos, the web playlist. Girl, you on fire. Stay blessed and keep going. Love from Texas. Shout out to Texas in the chat. Because this is Texas. Thanks so much to $19.99. How are you going to be a cheapskate with the Escort? I mean, seriously. I don't really know. I can't really quickly name everyone with immunity. I know that Capricorn, I think. See, I don't even remember. I think Capricorn did have immunity. We had George Kaplan, a former assistant, who had immunity. We had Eddie Garcia, a former Intercontinental Hotel security guard. He had immunity. And then we had, because he accepted a bribe payment, we had, I think, Bonna had immunity. Maybe Capricorn didn't. I think she might have. Bonna had immunity. And then there was Brendan Paul, I think. Jonathan Oddie did not testify. No, that did not happen. Okay, we got another tweet. And the most recent one was Jane asking Sly for his date of birth and driver's license number. And then Jane sent a message back to him again, how much time before he says can come up in a second, about 10 hours. Okay, so about 10 hours goes by. Jane's like, can you come to New York? And then what's your date of birth, driver's license, so that I can fly you on a plane? And then 10 hours later, he's like, can come up in a second. Okay, let's go to page 71. This is line 770. Again, this is not being shown to the public. But it is apparently a text to Brendan Paul about sending out a nurse in a bag. Something about a bag, something about a nurse. It's a text. Brendan Paul, former assistant for Diddy. Something about a nurse, something about a bag. I'm just updating the different sources. Oh, goodness. That's the most recent one there. I feel like they had more people with proof and recent proof that they didn't include, Amira said. Well, yeah, I mean, victim 3 is supposedly Gina. And she, I guess refused to testify. Somebody said, let's do the meet and greet at Cassie's therapy office so we can all have our brains zapped after this trauma we went through of the trial. That is funny. It's not funny, but I mean, it's, you laugh to keep from crying because it has been a lot, this trial. And I mean, I'm just sitting over here at my house, you know. A nurse in a bag. It's probably the IV. Somebody said IV in the chat, and I think that might be something to that. What the hell? I'm going to disappear for a month. Oh, man. Nothing happening here, y'all. I mean, it is moving at a glacier's pace. Glaciers might move faster than this trial. Amira, I have no idea who testified at that grand jury. Not a clue. Not a clue. Scary to need a whole IV, but Cassie testified that they would do these. And I think one of the assistants testified that too. And he said it was to put him to sleep. To put him to sleep. That's what Jonathan Perez said. I mean, I felt like nobody made a big enough deal out of that. I thought that it was to rehydrate. He said it was to put them to sleep. James said he was born in Mamu. We definitely cousins. I believe it because I got family from Mamu. I have family from Mamu, actually, and Sunshine. And why hasn't anyone brought up minors? Because that wasn't, a lot of people keep saying this. I really don't know why y'all keep saying this. There was never allegations in this criminal complaint that he abused minors. Now, maybe he did or something that, they didn't charge him with it, but I don't know where the news got put out that minors were going to be mentioned. Now, there was one document, one time where they mentioned minor victim 2 and possibility of bringing up information about this minor victim 2, but that could have been about anything because it was behind all this redaction stuff, so you couldn't really tell what it was. There were minors mentioned in a civil case or something like that, but Diddy was never, ever, ever charged with minor stuff. Never. Now, Lil Rod might have mentioned there was minors somewhere, this place, that place. These are civil cases, but the feds, for whatever reason, and maybe it's because he truly just, there was no evidence of it, but the feds did not charge him with stuff having to do with children. So that's why no one has brought up minors, because it's just not one of the things they decided to charge him with. Tanea might have said it, but Tanea is not the feds. At least not the feds that's in charge of charging this stuff. Dawn Richard might have mentioned in her case, but again, y'all, you gotta remember the difference between when the government's coming after you and when some private party is suing you. Okay, so I'm not saying he didn't do stuff. I'm also not saying he did. What I'm saying is this particular criminal case never charged behaviors with minors. It was always charged behaviors with adults. So that's why they not really bringing it up. There was lawsuit, but y'all got it again, I reiterate, minors suing or adults who were used to be minors and something happened to them and they sued. That's what's called a civil case. The feds, the government doesn't chase down every civil case. They only going to come after what they want to charge you with and what they can charge you with. So again, y'all, I mean, hopefully if he ever did anything of the sort, he is held accountable. But I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. But again, I mean, if anybody, Diddy included, ever did anything, untoward to children, they should face the consequences. So I haven't seen evidence, like direct evidence, other than, hearing people's accusations and things like that. But like, how we have like a video of Diddy like running down the hall and like beating Cassie. I personally haven't seen him running down the hall and doing something like, to a minor. That doesn't mean I'm saying he didn't. That doesn't mean I'm saying he's a good guy. That doesn't mean anything other than the fact that You can't charge stuff that you don't have evidence for. The prosecutors might have evidence I don't have. I'm sure they have lots of evidence I don't have. And I can't think of any reason why, if he actually had done something to a child, why that wouldn't be brought up. But, who knows? This is so boring. Oh my God. Like, they're back and there's 3 tweets and then nothing for 10 minutes. Washington Post fell asleep. Oh, they just finally. Okay, so right here just now, they're talking about allegations, parties, and major moments in the civil cases. Still, though, that's not that's not updates from inside the courtroom. Oh man, this is so boring. Do something. Okay, I'm gonna look up his docket. Because they are the feds are supposed to put up every piece of evidence from this trial today. And have they done so? No. The cat is screaming outside the door. It's just like nothing. Like Inner City Press just like stops tweeting for like 20 minutes at a time. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, finally. All right. Jane sent a text message to Sly, aka Cabral. And then 10 hours later, he's like, "Can I come up in a sec?" Okay, then there's some type of text message from Brendan Paul, the personal assistant, about sending out a nurse and a bag. And I'm assuming that's some type of IV. What does he text? He texts all IVs would be the same. You read Mr. Combs. I'll read Christina Karam. Okay, so Christina Karam said you can't just leave like that, lit after partying and not tell anyone. That's when bad stuff happens. You know that. Okay, so we're getting dropped in mid-fight between KK and Diddy. And KK's telling Diddy, you can't just leave like that. His chief of staff. You can't get lit after partying and just not tell anyone. That's when bad stuff happens. You know that. So he apparently just up and ghosted after getting lit partying. Someone said, do I think the feds will go after Fat Joe like Diddy? No clue, Robin. No clue. No clue. I got to even read more closely that whole lawsuit. It's 157 pages long. And then like Fat Joe had already filed his own lawsuit against this guy first, like last month. So then this one is kind of like almost like kind of like a countersuit a little bit, but it's not technically. I mean, technically it's 2 different lawsuits. I will be surprised if they don't get consolidated under one judge. But I think I just don't have enough information at this point to, make an informed, comment. Diddy complained that the escort could not even perform. In another exchange of texts, the Cowboys for Angels representative, so this is somebody from the escort service, messaged Diddy saying there was a mistake with the cash payment and the company was owed $600. Diddy said, LOL, he couldn't even perform. She responded that the agency pays for time and companionship, that the cost is the same for clients like Diddy. Whether you're skydiving or dancing, you're paying for his time, right? But this is showing Diddy was paying people more if they could, quote, perform. What does that mean? Sexual acts for a commercial purpose. Okay. Not only is that possible, if you can prove the coercion, it's, the ST, but it's just straight up prostitution. It's not legal to pay someone to cross state lines to do a sex act. It's a federal crime. In another exchange of texts, somebody from the Cowboy for Angel, and Bridget, she's like, she better have my money. You owe me. Pay me what you owe me. You owe me $600 more. LOL. He couldn't even perform. I bet you he would pay $600 to not have this text read out loud right now, though, wouldn't he? Bridget responded, the agency pays for time and companionship. So whatever y'all are doing together on your own time, that's you. But you pay for his time. He was there for the time, and you need to pay me my money. I don't give a if you skydiving, if you dancing, you're paying for his time. He later asked this same Bridget woman to, quote, talk nice to him, and again reiterated that he's a longtime customer. She apologized and said, I'm not trying to be smart with you. He said, it's all good. All love, all love, all love. It's all good. It's all love. So anyway, he's like, he couldn't even perform. He couldn't even do the thing. So I don't want to pay you no $600. She said, you're paying for time and companionship. You forgot. The cost is the same no matter what. And it's for all clients, no matter if you're a long timer or not. So the company is kind of like the plimps, if you ask me. I mean, they're the ones making sure somebody's definitely going to get their money. And that's another reason that I suspect that they will have if they don't already own a federal investigation. Okay. So this is where we had left off. What does Brendan Paul text? He says all IVs will be the same. Okay. You read as Mr. Combs and I will read as Miss Karam. So KK says to Diddy, you can't just leave like that, lit after partying and not tell anyone. That's when bad stuff happens and you know that. And then Diddy said, did you get the drip? The IV drip. And then Christina Karam said, Chelsea will move to the house once Jane leaves. Options were here in, whoa, hold on. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I need to figure out what the hell is going on right here. Hold on. So Jane is sending messages to Cabral. 10 hours later, he shows up. Then, okay, now what is this? A text to Brendan Paul about sending a nurse and a bag. What does Brendan Paul text? He texts about the IVs being the same. And Christina Karam is like, you can't just peace out lit after partying and not tell anyone. That's when bad stuff happens. Then Diddy just texts her back. Did you get the drip? Meaning like the IV bag. She said, Chelsea, this is KK. Chelsea. So Chelsea is somebody that has just sued Diddy. I think her last name might be Lovelace. She had previously sued Diddy as a Jane Doe, but now she's using her full name. So KK says, Chelsea, this is another one of Diddy's, girl friends, if you want to call it. Chelsea will move to the house once Jane leaves. So they were just waiting for Jane to get out to bring Chelsea in. The options were here, Mandarin, and another. King room for now instead of a suite. Because he likes suites. But it's just like, no, just a king room for now. Diddy said, I need to get her a suite. Keep her at the Addition. I need to get her a suite. Okay, so once Jane leaves, so here's KK showing Rico. I think this is Rico. Attempt by the government to show Rico, because you have KK, the chief of staff, shuffling girls around, shuffling women around. Chelsea's going to come to the house, but Jane's there right now. So when Jane leaves, Chelsea can come. At the time, what we have right now is we can go to Mandarin in a king room and some other hotel in a king room for now. Diddy said no, she needs a suite. So keep her where she is. I need to get her a suite. Again, KK is effectuating all of this. And who's wiring the money? I mean, I think second, third in command is Robin, from what I've been able to tell. Not that CNN ever going to mention her name. Okay, so 2 minutes ago, CNN updates and says Cerciello, the special agent, is still reviewing messages related to Diddy's trip to New York City in September 2023. This is whenever he was getting the key to the city and all of that. Still reviewing messages related to September 17th through 19th, 2023, of course. Oh, no, that's not him. The jury saw messages Diddy sent to an entertainer from the Cowboys for Angels service telling him when to arrive at the hotel room. And hours later, an employee texted Diddy saying he still needed to pay $600. LOL, he couldn't even perform, Diddy texted back. The employee explained that Diddy was paying for the man's time, and Diddy told the employer that she should be nice to him, saying he was a longtime customer. The jury also saw other texts between Jane and Sly, another entertainer, coordinating his travel at the hotel. And they also saw messages involving Brendan Paul, a former assistant for Diddy, coordinating an IV drip for 3 people. IV therapy was included in Freak Off. Okay, so IV supplements are interesting to me because it is on Kim Porter's police report, whenever they showed up and did the police report, the autopsy, the coroner and all that, that she had gotten IVs. Okay. And, I don't know. It looks like maybe it was a sort of a man down situation. What types of foods would Diddy have brought in? Soup. She had soup on her nightstand. She had Ambien that wasn't prescribed to her in her nightstand. So I'm just starting to wonder what in the hell else we don't know about the Kim Porter saga, if anything. So Diddy and his then girlfriend Jane took IV supplements as part of at least one freak off session, according to a group text chain. In a September 2023 chat that included the couple and members of Diddy's team, an assistant named Ashley, so we have another new assistant, Ashley, reminded everyone to make sure that sodium chloride, vitamin B12, this is given Scientology, B complex, zinc, calcium, amino acids, Toradol, which is like an anti-inflammatory, magnesium, and Benadryl. Hold on. Benadryl for IV use? Why? IV Benadryl, I don't know if y'all ever had occasion to have IV Benadryl administered, but that shit will make you so sleepy. You will be passed out. You will be knocked out. IV Benadryl is very serious. The allergy medicine. So what were the IVs that he was? Sodium chloride, which I think is just regular, like if you're dehydrated and you need fluids, I think that's what that is. Nurses and doctors or whoever in the chat, let me know. Vitamin B12, which is, B12. Then there's the B complex, zinc. All this stuff is good for you or whatever. But then, calcium, that's fine. Amino acids, Toradol, which means, that's for pain. So maybe, from doing all the substances or whatever, you got a headache, maybe you're sore, maybe whatever. It's kind of like ibuprofen or whatever. They give it to the professional athletes. Magnesium and Benadryl. Now, take this together with the fact that Jonathan Perez, former assistant, said that these IVs were to put them to sleep, and also put this together with Demore Hadley's recent lawsuit against Rock Nation CEO and her, happens to be also her mother, Desiree Perez, who hired allegedly, according to Demore's allegations, that Desiree Perez hired a doctor who forcibly put her into an institution. She said she never did drugs. She never did substances. She never even taken a sip of alcohol, never smoked a cigarette. And she got locked up for days against her will. And the doctor wrote on the thing, if she refuses the pharmaceutical medications, then give her IV, give her intramuscular Benadryl. So is this a way that they are sedating people in Hollywood with Benadryl? That's what I want to know. I don't know. I'm asking. It's a question. It's a question. Why is there Benadryl? All this other stuff is like, okay, they're trying to, this is pain. This is hydration. These are vitamins. This is something, naturally occurring. Calcium is good for you. Amino acids toward all. Benadryl? IV Benadryl? That's weird. That's weird. Special Agent Joseph Cerciello is still going through an array of text message records that depict Diddy's role in orchestrating freak-offs and directing others to carry out his demands. Okay, we have another new update from theindependent.com. Jane texted that she did not want to be used in a freak-off. Jurors saw text messages where Jane said she did not want to participate in a freak-off because it made her feel used. This is all going on in September 2023. Diddy asked if Jane would meet him in New York City to participate in a hotel night, and she said no. She said it was clear he only wanted her for a hotel binge. She said she did not want to be used and locked in a room to fulfill Diddy's fantasies, but she ultimately did meet up with Diddy. Okay, so we get a little bit more context on this couldn't even perform text message that he sent to the escort agency. Following a short break, jurors are now hearing of another message exchange between Diddy and a representative for Cowboys for Angels, an agency he used for male escorts. Now, this representative's name was Bridget. The representative, Bridget, told him there had been a mistake with a payment and that they were short $600, and Diddy said, LOL, he couldn't even perform. The representative reminded Diddy that customers pay for time and companionship. Diddy then said, talk nice to me, saying he always talked nicely himself, and again told her he was a longtime customer. Cost is always the same, Bridget said. Whether you're skydiving or dancing, you pay for his time. Diddy told her. Diddy was like, well, I thought you would still want to know how I felt about the service. She said, I apologize if my tone came across as anything but respectful. I'm not trying to be smart with you, she replied. It's all good. All love. Sorry for any stress, Diddy responded. Okay, we got another tweet, 2 tweets. Okay. So the most recent thing we read was Diddy saying, most recent is like KK is like fussing at Diddy. Like, you can't just leave lit after partying. You cannot tell anybody. That's when bad stuff happens. You already know this. Then Diddy doesn't even respond to that. He's just like, did you get the IV drip? KK is like, Chelsea, one of your girls, is going to move into the house once your other girl leaves. Options were here and Mandarin and somewhere else, and all we have available is King Room. And Diddy's like, I need to get her a suite. Keep her at the addition. Okay, next question. What's this? This is a financial record notes. Jane to Cabral Williams, slide diddler. Ew, what? Slide diddler. So what is this? It's a financial record note. Financial record notes. And it's Jane Doe to the S worker entertainer Cabral, quote, slide diddler. I don't know what the hell that means. It's in quotes. So then the assistant U.S. attorney, the prosecutor, is like, okay, now can you please play Diddy's voice message to Paul? Paul is the one from the trifecta. Remember, he was like the Shaq, and Jane was Kobe, and Diddy was Michael Jordan. So they play the voice note that Diddy sent to Paul Arthur, and he was also a personal trainer for Diddy, apparently. And Diddy said, hit me up when you're close. Okay, and then what does Jane text to Sly? So aroused, need to see you. Okay, and then what does Jane text next? She said, travel agent finally woke up. You're coming. Okay, what is this message? Excuse me, what is this number? Who is this number for? The special agent said that number is for Jessica Ruiz. Okay, and now please, can you play Diddy's message to KK, Christina Karam? Yeah, Diddy's saying, hey, KK, we need more baby oil. More baby oil. 20 bottles in this motherfucker. Okay, he needed more baby oil. He needed 20 bottles of baby oil. Okay, play Mr. Combs's voice messages. Here's Diddy. Hey, Jess. I need to get him from Atlanta to here. Let me know. Hit me up. Okay, does Cabral/Sly Williams send his date of birth and Jane sent it to Diddy and then Diddy sent it to Ruiz and then Ruiz books it? Yes. Okay, so Jane's like, I need your date of birth, your driver's license number so I can book your flight. She gets it. She gets the date of birth. She gets the info. She sends it to Diddy. Diddy sends it to the travel agent. The travel agent books the ticket. Okay, so that's just a little game of telephone, getting everybody all involved. Okay, we have 2 minutes ago, an update from CNN. Jury shown messages between Diddy and his chief of staff about hotel bookings. The jury saw more text messages between Diddy and his former chief of staff, Christina Karam, days later in September 2023. Diddy told KK to keep someone named Chelsea, I think that's the one that just sued him with under her real name, keep her at a Miami hotel and get a hotel suite at a different hotel for him and Jane. Okay, so Chelsea was just sitting over there at the other suite. She's chilling. And she's like, if I don't get a suite, I'm leaving. I don't know if that's true. But he's like, I have to get her a suite. And then also get me a suite at another hotel so I can go there with Jane. So he's over there with Jane in this hotel. Meanwhile, Chelsea just sitting up at the Miami hotel somewhere else. Diddy told KK Chelsea would move from the hotel to his Miami residence after Jane left. The chart also included flight records booked by Diddy's travel manager for Jane from Miami to Los Angeles. They all involved. And it's hard to imagine they didn't all know what was going on. And when I say involved, I mean like, booking things and okay, we have a new update from Sky News. IV therapy details for freak-off recovery revealed to court. The court is now hearing about details of IV supplements taken by Diddy and his former girlfriend Jane, who testified under a pseudonym. This was a part of at least one freak-off. Cassie also told the courts she would take IVs with Diddy for recovery following substance-fueled sex sessions. In court now, jurors are given details of a group text which included Diddy and Jane and members of his team. I want to know, was Robin Greenhill in there? Somebody needs to tell me. The assistant included details of what was needed: sodium chloride, vitamin B12, B complex, zinc, calcium, amino acids, toradol, magnesium, and Benadryl. That will knock You out. That is sleepy time. Okay, so the last thing we read here on Inner City Press was Jane asking Sly/Cabral for his birth information so she can get him a ticket. Jane gets the information, sends it to Diddy. Diddy sends it to Jessica Ruiz or Jennifer Ruiz, whoever that is, and then that's the travel agent. And then she books the ticket. Okay, then what does KK text to Diddy after that? She says, I ordered the fruit plates. I'll have to bring your phone to you. This is interesting. Whoa. Okay, I got the fruit plates. I'll have to bring your phone to you. So they're all set up for a freak off. And then now play the message that Diddy sent to KK. So Diddy's voice comes on. I got to run out of town real quick. Like family emergency. Know what I'm saying? No. I don't know what the hell he could possibly be saying because they use so many freaking code words. Everybody's family. Everybody's a model. I mean, please. So he's like, no, I can't do the freak off now. There's all this stuff set up. People's coming out. I can't do this, that, a family emergency. If you know what I mean, know what I'm saying. I got to run out of town real quick. Like family emergency. Know what I'm saying? KK says, I suggest you say something came up and not lie about leaving town. I think she's going to want to hear from you directly. You could suggest dinner tomorrow. Okay, so what is going on here? I don't freaking know. I really wish that this stuff was made available to the public. I mean, who knows? But it's like, it looks like they're all getting ready for a freak off. Look, KK says to Diddy, I ordered the fruit plates. I'll have to bring your phone to you. And then he's like, oh, I got to run out of town real quick, like family emergency. Know what I'm saying? KK said, no, I don't know what you're saying. And I suggest that you say something came up and not lie about leaving town. Pretty sure she's going to want to hear from you directly. You could suggest going to dinner tomorrow. Now, remember, if this is September 2023, Jane has already been complaining, not wanting to do these freak offs and all of that, feeling used. Then they just rapidly make your head spin. They moving so fast. What's this? The special agent's like, this is a message from the plug, Guido, to Diddy. Okay, so then play Diddy's message. I need 5 more bottles of each. So I don't have to ask nobody. And my Apple TV, since I'm staying here. So he's like, bring me 5. So it's Guido to Diddy. And then Diddy's like, I need 5 more bottles of each. What is the each? I have no idea. So I don't have to ask nobody. Is it baby oil? Is it clonidine? Girl, I don't know. Okay, so he asked for his Apple TV, and then he also asked for lattes and vegetable soup. And then Diddy said, can security bring me 5,000, meaning dollars, I'm assuming. Can security, that's Fahim, can I get that $5,000? Diddy's voice. Oh, oh. And anything else y'all think I might need. And Cialis. I'm going to keep calling y'all unless you think of everything I'm going to need. Oh my God. Okay, so he needs the keeping it up drug, which is, a lot of men of a certain age, I guess, need that or whatever. But I think it might also possibly have something to do with the fact that he was trying to do this stuff for like 18 to 24 to 48 hours. Okay, so he's trying to switch up on somebody. He's like, oh, I got to run out of town real quick, like family emergency. Know what I'm saying? And Christina Crom is like, no, I suggest you say something came up and not lie about leaving town. I think she's going to want to hear from you directly. You could suggest dinner tomorrow, KK says. And then there's another message from Guido to Diddy, or between Guido and Diddy. And Diddy's saying, I need 5 more bottles of each. What is it? Bottles of what? Is it Astro? Is it baby oil? Is it just for men? Is it applesauce? Is it, Zan? Is it, who knows, girl, Ambien? I don't know. But he needs 5 more bottles of each one of them. And he said the reason was so that he doesn't have to ask anybody. And also he wants his Apple TV since he's staying over there at this hotel. And he also wanted lattes and vegetable soup. On top of all of that, he asked security to bring him 5,000 and anything else he might need, and keeping it up drug. And I'm going to keep calling y'all unless you think of everything I'm going to need. Okay, what is texted then at that point to Fahim? This is the head of security. Someone texted, taking 5,000 to him now. Who texted? Is it Robin? I want to know. Okay, then what does Jessica Ruiz text to Diddy? This is the travel agent. That he had to change drivers, and then Jane texts the driver info to Cabral. Okay, what about the next 4 videos? Okay, these are freak off videos. And about 45 minutes later, JP Morgan to Arthur Fitness $1,000. Okay, so then there's 4 videos of freak offs. And then I guess 45 minutes after that, there's a wire from JP Morgan Bank or something, JP Morgan, to Arthur Fitness, and Paul Arthur Fitness is Paul. So we're talking about Cabral. We're talking about Arthur. It looks like he might be having one of them in one hotel, one of them in his house. He's got one coming over here, one going over there, complaining about paying too much to the Cowboy for Angels. Somebody couldn't perform, so they shouldn't get $600. Meanwhile, look like Diddy can't perform either because he's demanding Cialis. Inner City Press said, as these messages are read, Diddy is sitting back in his chair just listening. One minute ago, NBC News, Diddy's chief of staff scolded him leaving parties with guests in Ubers. In one text exchange, KK, Diddy's chief of staff, asked Diddy to call her and told him, next time you leave, when you're randomly partying, you have to tell us. She said he can't take Ubers with guests because that's when bad stuff happens. She added, I didn't want to hit you with this. It's not cool. If something happens, it would not be good. Okay, we're getting more insight from the Independent. I mean, we kind of already read this from other sources, but it is a new source. So I'll just read it. Text show Combs refused to pay for male escort due to poor performance. And more text messages between Diddy and a representative from Cowboys for Angels, a male escort agency. Diddy refused to pay $600 because the escort, quote, LOL, couldn't perform. Now, Cassie previously testified that Diddy would refuse to pay escorts if they could not perform up to his standard. Diddy left a voicemail for chief of staff about running out of baby oil. In a November 2021 voicemail played for jurors, Diddy is heard telling his chief of staff that he is out of baby oil. In the urgent voicemail, Diddy told top lieutenant, urgent, it's an urgent voicemail, I can't believe I'm out. She assured Diddy that a fresh delivery would be left outside his door shortly. Now I'm wondering who brought it. I'm wondering who paid for it. I'm wondering who let the card be swiped for it. Okay. So the most recent tweet we read was, what does the travel agent text to Diddy? That there needed to be a change in drivers. So then Jane texted the change in drivers to Cabral. So maybe they're going to try and say, well, they were the ones setting it up. They were the ones setting it up. Well, this kind of takes the legs out from that argument, right? As you will see, Cassie and Jane set these up themselves and they loved every second of it. Well, did they really? Because all this other stuff's going on in the back end about who's going to be driving him there, who's going to be booking the ticket. It's Diddy's paying for it. Bad Boy's paying for it. So it kind of takes the legs out from underneath that argument about, oh, Jane Doe did it all herself. Like, not really. Jessica Ruiz, the travel agent, texts Diddy. Then Diddy texts Jane. Then Jane finally texts Cabral. Had to change drivers. The next 4 videos are explicit videos. 45 minutes later, Paul gets $1,000. And what does Jane send to Diddy? She says, I'm heading there. We'll let you know when I'm 5 minutes away. Paul coming up. Okay. So let's move on to the next incident. The London Hotel, line 337. Can you walk us through? Yeah. This is the London Hotel in Los Angeles, room number 229, in the name of Chavez with damage. So this is the London Hotel, room 229, and there was damage. There was damage to the room. So probably they have those records listed there on the chart. So just to remind y'all what this is that we're looking at, what we're hearing about, what we're reading about on the Twitter and on the different articles or whatever is just a series, an array of text message records and hotel records and flight records. And they're all put in order in a way that show Diddy orchestrating freak-offs and directing others to carry out his demands. Stephanie is like, wasn't KK like grossed out by Diddy by that time? I mean, I don't understand how she couldn't be. Maybe she's a nasty person herself. Because by this point, I think I would just be so freaking disgusted by him. Like, I wouldn't even be able to be in a room with him. You know, if true. I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay, we have another new tweet. Okay, what about line 340? The special agent said, well, this is a check-in record for the London Hotel. Okay, can you play the voice message? Diddy says, should I book the room? It's a yes or no answer. Thumbs up or thumbs down. And what does Jane respond? She said, I need to shop to celebrate. What's she celebrating, girl? I mean, look, listen, if she had to do all that stuff, she ought to been able to shop. Otherwise, she's doing it for free. She's like, I need to shop. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay, next. What about line 350? This is 10 lines down. Who texts Jane? It's Christina Karam asking for Jane's bank account information. She says Bank of America. She gives her account number and she writes, want to send one of those guys here to drop everything off. One of the guys. Want to send one of the guys here to drop everything off? And Diddy said, no, I don't want them to know. They didn't. So she was being hidden, right? Want to send one of those guys here Want to send one of the guys here to drop everything off at my house. Diddy says no. I don't want them to know. To know what? She's just now got a bank account text message, right? KK is like, what's your account information? Bank of America and an account number. Then she writes, want to send one of the guys here to drop everything off. Diddy says, no, I don't want the guys to know what I'm doing with you. He ran out of baby oil during a freak off, apparently, allegedly. That's the thing. When you're moving around this much cash, even if you're using cash, it starts to become obvious. Like you can look at people's withdrawals and, deposits and see like the exact amounts of cash that come in and leave out. And then that one guy, Eddie Garcia, was like, Diddy told him not to make any big purchases. Okay, so the most recent tweet we read was line 350, who texts Jane. It's Christina Karam asking for her account information. She says Bank of America. Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to click that. She says Bank of America, and then she gives her account number. And she writes, want to send one of the guys to drop everything off. Diddy says, no, I don't want them to know. Okay, can you please now play Diddy's audio, Mr. Combs' audio message to Jane? Yeah, it's Diddy's voice. I sent you $15K, baby girl. Okay, and then what does Diddy text to Paul? This Paul Arthur, that is his trainer, but also freak off participant, according to testimony in this trial. So Diddy says, you in LA? Paul says, yeah. Then Diddy says, I'm gonna hit you later. Okay, then Diddy finally does hit him up later and sends a voice note. Yo, want to meet up 9:45? Okay, so getting Paul Arthur lined up. Just sent Jane $15K. What does Diddy text to Paul Arthur? You in LA? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hit you up later. Want to meet up at 9:45? We have finally a new update from Washington Post. Sean Combs may not be testifying at his trial, but the jury is hearing his voice in a series of audio messages as evidence through the current witness. In those messages, Diddy makes demands for freak-off supplies. Cialis, please, Diddy said in a voice message, seemingly a reference to the ED drug. I'm going to keep on calling y'all if y'all don't make sure I have everything I need. In another audio message, Diddy asked his employee KK for 5 more bottles of everything so I don't have to call nobody. Wait, I thought that was a Guido. Now they're saying over here this was KK. So I don't know if it was Guido or KK. It's kind of ambiguous reporting. 5 more bottles of everything so I don't have to call anybody. Yet another voice note was a request for vegetable soup. So basically Diddy was like needing stuff at the freak offs. And he's like, keeps asking KK to get it. He's like, Cialis, please. 20 bottles of baby oil. Also, can't believe I ran out. I'm going to need y'all. I'm going to keep on calling y'all if you don't make sure I have everything I need. 5 more bottles of everything so I don't have to call anybody. And then he requested yet again some vegetable soup even after that. So y'all need to bring 5 more bottles and 5 more cans of everything, apparently. Okay. Okay, so the most recent tweet we read from Inner City Press, just to kind of put us back on track of where we were over here. Diddy said, I sent you $15K, baby girl, to Jane. Then Diddy texted the S worker, basically, Paul. You in LA? Yes. All right, I'm going to hit you later. You want to meet at 9:45. And Diddy has another voice note saying, can you get $5K for Fahim? Who is he texting to? I don't know. Is this from Paul Arthur? I'm really not sure who this is. He's messaging somebody with a voice note. Yo, can you get $5K for Fahim? But he's also asking security to bring it. So it's like someone's giving Fahim $5K and then Fahim's bringing the $5K to the hotel to pay somebody with, I guess. Okay, then what does Diddy text to Jane? Paul going to meet us at 9:30. So actually it's going to be 9:45, but he tells Jane, Paul is meeting us 9:30. Okay. Can you now play Diddy to Frank Rodriguez? I think this is an assistant. Yes. Okay. They play the message and it says, Frank, make sure that room is set up right. Karen said, how are they entering these amounts into the bad boy books of accounts? That's what I want to know. And is anyone going to be tried for it? That's what I want to know. Is the IRS, is the SEC, is anybody looking out? Is what I want to know. Because y'all already know all roads leads back to TriStar Sports and Entertainment, in my opinion. A new update from CNN. Less than a minute ago, witness details flight and hotel records from November 2021. The special agent for Homeland Security Investigations reviewed documents in November 2021. Diddy had texted Jane. So this is the end of the first year of them dating. This is about a year after Jane and Diddy met each other. And Diddy texted Jane asking if she wanted to see him and an entertainer. And this is Paul. This is the trifecta, Kobe, Shaq, and Michael Jordan. Diddy later messaged Paul, who is the Shaq of the group, telling him to let him know when he was close. And in that time frame, Jane was also texting a different entertainer called Sly about traveling from LA to Atlanta. Diddy was messaging his travel manager about booking a flight and a hotel for Sly. But Jane simultaneously was relaying the information to Sly, according to the documents. Now, the jury also saw several messages between Diddy and his then chief of staff, Christina Karam, or KK, in that same time frame, including messages in which Diddy requested $5,000 in cash, and she notified him that some baby oil had been dropped off. Several explicit videos were taken during these days as well. Around that time, Jane sent Sly a Cash App payment, and a large amount of cash was also deposited into one of Paul's accounts. So two different workers. One is Sly, one is Paul. So at the same time, Jane paid Sly a lot of cash in Venmo, or Cash App rather, and $1,000 was deposited into Paul's bank account as well. So they both ended up getting paid. We have Diddy talking about cash. We have, it's really all just kind of starting to line up. Okay, so the most recent tweet on Inner City Press that we saw was Diddy's voice note saying, Frank, I think that's an assistant, make sure that room is set up right. And what does Frank write back? He said, medical grade horse tranquilizer. We also got Molly Ann. What does Jane write to Sly? Jane says, you need to call the assistant. Okay, and then what does the assistant text to Diddy? He texted a photo and a message and said, this is all they got left of the blues. I don't know what the blues is, girl. I mean, I'm sure it's some type of substance, but I do not condone. Yeah, I agree with this tweet. Somebody said if Diddy had a proper finance manager or someone with a legal mind in the business, they would have cautioned him about this. This spending lacks fiduciary responsibility. And this is what I'm wondering, y'all. Is this going to be a whole separate trial on the finances of Diddy? And is that where we're going to see Lou Taylor? We're never going to see Lou Taylor and Robin Greenhill ever brought up. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I don't have a psychic vision ball. I don't have a crystal ball or anything, but okay, there's a CNN update. 1 minute ago, Diddy, ex-chief of staff, booked LA hotel for Diddy and Jane. The jury saw messages about November 14th, 2021, when KK, Diddy's former chief of staff, booked a hotel in LA for Diddy and Jane. The chief of staff, KK, texted him when an assistant was there setting up the room. And later in the day, KK texted again, hotel called, Paul is coming up. Paul is someone Diddy and Jane would pay to have relations with Jane on multiple occasions during hotel nights, but he also worked with Diddy as a physical trainer, personal trainer. Just waiting for the next update. Story of my life. Where is the IRS auditing? That's what I want to know. That is what I want to know. Where's the do they care? Do they care? Thanks so much, Flower Power, for the 17 super chat. Will you cover the Barry Morphew case? I don't know. I never even heard of that. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. And I was like, who is that? What is that? I'll have to look into it. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you to Boy Mom X3. Shout out to you, member for 1 month. That Raffles guy apparently was closely connected to the Jacksons and may also own a large portion of Prince's estate. Oh, well, there's your Lou Taylor. Listen, all roads lead to her. She managed Prince's estate for at least some time. Thank you, R. Har, for the $10 super sticker. Thank you, Empowered Wendy, for the $9.99. BJ, you're slaying it. Let's get some super chats going, fam. Slam the like too. Love your afternoon post. Personality is so adorbs. Thank you for that $9.99, Empowered Wendy. Yes, make sure you liked it. Make sure you didn't get unsubscribed. You know how that goes sometimes. Thank you, Mr. Lord, for the $20 super chat. Great job, BJ. Thank you. Appreciate that. Medical grade horse tranquilizer, y'all. Medical. Okay. I'll read Jane. You read Mr. Combs. Jane says, it's been 3 years of me having to beep strangers. I can't be in another hotel room performing for days. Diddy says, let me make love. Oh, hold on. Diddy says, let me make love to you. Jane said, spend the day with Gina. She's like, I simply just cannot. What the hell? She's like, I simply cannot spend another moment in a hotel with you in these dark hotel rooms performing for days. Let me make love to you. Jane said, spend the day with Gina. She said, I'm not trying to have relations with strangers. You want to have me blank someone's blank so you can jet off with Gina. Diddy says, are you going to let me in your house? Are you going to let me in our house? Are you going to let me in our house? Are you going to let me in our house? Are you going to let me in our house? Are you going to let me in our house? He said it 5 times. So I read it 5 times just to show you how annoying he is. Jane said, I just put my child to bed. Relax. She's like, I don't want to have relations with strangers. He's like, I want to make love to you. And she's like, I mean, honestly, I kind of don't. Like, I'm just trying to like chill over here. Why don't you just go hang out with Gina? You gonna let me in our house? You gonna let me in our house? You gonna let me in our house? She's like, I'm putting my kid to bed, you freak. Diddy wanted Erewhon soup and his Apple TV delivered. In a voicemail to his chief of staff, Diddy wanted someone to bring him in his Apple TV system, whole milk lattes, coconut water, 7 bottles of baby oil, 5 bottles of Astro, and some vegetable soup from the high-end grocery store Erewhon. He wanted the order filled so, quote, I don't have to call anybody about it later, he said in the voicemail, or it might have been a voice note. You know, he likes to send voice notes, it seems. Maybe it's because he can't spell. I don't know. But Jane is like, I'm not really trying to do that stuff with strangers. Like, can we, like, just leave me alone? Call Gina. Tell one of them to do it. Because you're taking them on vacations and stuff at least. So maybe they'll want to do it because they're getting something out of it. So, really not much, like, actually, strictly speaking, new coming up this morning, but I do think the way oh, this is interesting. I do think the way they're putting it out is, in this particular testimony is compelling because it kind of adds everything all up together. Double Bubble said he seems to need these things to occur. Like, I still think he has a responsibility to live stream these acts to someone. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to find that out. I want to know, what does the soup taste like? I don't think I've ever even been in. It's not even, are you going to let me in an Erewhon? Annie said, new line for the day. Are you going to let me in your house? It's our house. He was saying our house, you know, because he needed to take possession over it to remind her he was paying for it. They might be his comfort foods. How do you like them apples now, Diddy? Well, what about how do you like that applesauce? Maybe his fingers are going to be too sticky to text. Or slippery from all that oil. More oil, more oil. Inner City Press is saying that Diddler was his Venmo handle, was Diddy's Venmo handle. I don't know if that's true. Okay, let's see. Updating Washington Post. Nothing new. Updating NBC. We're all up to date there. CNN. We're up to date there. Okay, we do have a new update from The Independent 4 minutes ago. Diddy's staff coordinated hotels, travel, IV fluids, and more. Prosecutors are going through troves of text messages and voicemails between Diddy, Jane, male escorts, and his staff about hold on. Sorry. Just like constantly trying to like avoid having my stuff hacked into. There's like stalkers and freaks trying to hack my stuff all day. Okay. 5 minutes ago, Diddy's chief of staff so his staff coordinated hotels, travel, IV fluids, and more. Prosecutors are going through troves of text messages and voicemails between Diddy, Jane, male escorts, and his staff about coordinating travel, lodging, and more for freak offs. In one exchange, Diddy and his staff arranged for IV fluids to be administered to him and others who participated in the drug-fueled marathons. Now, jurors are hearing Diddy's voice through voice messages that he sent to staff with requests. I don't know why people think if they put it in a voice note, it's like somehow like not like in writing. It's like, okay, well, hopefully this puts to rest. Now they have your full voice saying it. Okay, are you going to let me in our house? You going to let me in our house? He does that 5 times. She's like, I just put my kid to bed. Okay, who texted Diddy the next day? Gina. So she's like, go hang out with Gina, you freak. Just leave me alone. And he's like, I want to come make love to you in my house. You going to let me in? You going to let me in? You going to let me in? And so the next day, he sure enough did text Gina. Okay, then what does he text to Jane? He said he's aroused with numerous C's. And who is Diddy texting with in this message? This one, a man named Rico Love. Rico Love, y'all. The irony. Not Rico Love, somebody said. Oh, wait, that's a producer? A man named Rico Love. So Diddy's texting Gina. He's texting Jane. He's texting Rico Love. Jane's trying to put her kid to bed and not have to worry about him, but he won't leave her alone. Are you going to let me in our house? Are you going to let me in our house 5 times? Okay, we got a new update. Less than a minute ago from CNN, records show records show messages about January 2023 debauchery. Special Agent for Homeland Security Investigations reviewed records from January 2023 when the government asserts that Diddy and Jane hosted 3 entertainers. Okay, so January 2023, government asserts Diddy and Jane had a freak off with 3 different men in LA. Diddy texted Jane an audio message, quote, hey, let me know right now if I should book debauchery for 9 o'clock. Yes or no answer. Pushy. Shut up. No. Bye. Leave me alone. Ew. Jane, who testified under a pseudonym, texted him back. Yeah, it's a thumbs up. She then asked him for money to buy new clothes. He sent her another audio message. Sent you 15,000, baby girl, according to the records. The jury saw flight records for all 3, quote, entertainers. Diddy scheduled one of the entertainers through Cowboys for Angels, according to the records. Jane paid Cowboys for Angels $1,100 on Cash App and then texted Diddy, send this as proof of payment. So Jane might have coordinated, but Diddy was co-coordinating. So what does that mean? Okay, so last where we left off here was Rico Love. Diddy was texting Jane, I'm aroused as F. And he was also texting with this man, Rico Love. And what does Jane text back to Diddy? She says, baby, I'm here. Okay, and then what does Diddy text to Rico Love? Diddy texts L'Hermitage, that's a hotel, let me know when you're there. And then Diddy's voice, yo, what's the name and the room number? Okay, and then what does Diddy text to Rico? The room is in Paul's name. Girl, room is Paul. Room is Paul. Paul is in the room. What does this mean? Room is Paul. Does that mean it's in his name? It means he's in the room. It means there's going to be two of them in there at the same time. I don't know. It's like a lot of back and forth, right? Jane is texting Diddy, baby, I'm here. Diddy texts Rico, let me know when you're there. What's the name and the room number? Diddy says. And then he says, room is Paul. I think the man might have some frontal lobe problems. That's probably why he sends these voice notes, because he can't talk, he can't type. Room is Paul means nothing. That doesn't mean anything. Room is Paul. Room is Paul? That's supposed to be Diddy. Room is Paul. What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, we already read that. Personally, I'm about ready for my lunch break. I mean, how much longer is this going to drag on? It is 12:47 p.m. And it's like there's construction or something going on in my house. What is this slide diddler? What is the slide diddler? I want to know. Shout out to Queen of Mischief for becoming a member. Thanks so much to Tab H for the $5 super sticker. Thank you, Sarah, for the $4.99 super sticker. Thank you, Queen of Mischief, for the $5 super chat. Yes, after months of watching the VODs, I guess that's video of the day. What does that mean? I finally get to see a live. Woohoo, BJ, you're an amazing human. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. Thank you for that $5 super chat and for becoming a member. Okay, so we have another text, excuse me, tweet about texts. What does Diddy text to Rico? He tells him where they are in the hotel. What's the name and room number? Diddy text, room is Paul, whatever that means. Okay, I'll read Jane. You read Diddy. Jane says, make sure not to make me feel high and dry. Put something in my account. Okay, then Diddy said, hey, how are you? And then what was 3 days later? Yes. There's a record for $3,000 into her account. So she's like, give me money. Don't make me feel high and dry like you just use me for free. You know, use me for money and put some money in my account. And look, listen, y'all, I have no problem believing truly that Jane Doe is a victim. Truly, I do. However, somebody being a victim doesn't mean that they weren't gold digging. Okay. Like somebody could be a gold digger and a victim. And that's something that we all have to just go ahead and come to terms with. Like I'll do the freak off, but don't make me feel high and dry about it. You know, put something in my account, question mark. Look, they reading it in, y'all, not me. Come on, these slow ass prosecutors. Like they needed 3 days to sit here and read these charts. Like the jury couldn't have just read these charts on their own. Then we needed special agents from Homeland Security to read them. It's just weird to me. Like it's like, okay, a day, okay, 2 days, but like, goddamn, this is going on 3 days of these people. That's just dragging. 5 minutes ago, The Independent, Diddy requested vegetable soup and baby oil for freak-offs. Diddy asked staff for a litany of things to prepare for or sustain him during freak-offs. Prosecutors shared during the special agent's testimony. That list includes baby oil, arousal substance, Astro, coconut water, vegetable soup, and an Apple TV system. Hold on, I need to do something in here. Yeah, E. Nordstrom says another thing about a victim. Hold on, someone's telling me what to do. Let me block them real quick. Ew, allergic to that. Another thing about a victim is someone can be into certain freaky stuff without always being down with it. It's the same as someone super vanilla. You still have to consent. Exactly. That is a true point. You can be into something all day long until, one day you're not. And then you say, I don't feel like doing that today. If you're forced to do it, it's still forcing. Just because you liked it one time don't mean you got to like it every single time when you don't even feel like it. Or you don't want to for some other reason. It's true. I think at 1:00, I'm just going to leave anyway, because I'm starting to get like stir crazy. I'm hungry. I need to use the bathroom. I want to get my water and just take a little bit of a break. This is just ridiculous. I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm in a very bad mood today. I'm just not in a good mood. I'm sick of everything being so freaking secret. I'm sick of everything being so like anticlimactic. I'm sick of everything they're not even really going after him with the most they could. Is anyone ever going to pay for any of this? I'm just feeling restless about the end of this trial. And like, is justice really going to be served? I'm feeling like a little bit anxious about it. Like, if you can't get Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, who can you get for what? Is there any justice anywhere? I mean, all these things are just racing through my mind. Okay, so we have 2 new updates from Sky News, one from 14 minutes ago. I can't believe I'm out. 20 bottles of baby oil requested in voice note. The special agent continues his testimony. The court hears about messages exchanged between Diddy and his former chief of staff. In one text, KK asked Diddy to call her and told him, next time you leave when you're randomly partying, so KK, you have to tell us. You can't take Ubers with random guests. That's when bad stuff happens. I didn't want to hit you with this. It's not cool. Something happens, it would not be good. And in another voicemail heard in court from November 2023, Diddy could be heard telling KK he needed more oil. I can't believe I'm out, he said, and asked for 20 more bottles. KK assured him a fresh delivery would be outside his door. Cassie and Jane, both former Diddy partners, testified about his desire to use lots of baby oil during freak-offs with male escorts. In another voicemail, Diddy told KK he wanted someone to bring him his Apple TV, whole milk lattes, coconut water, 7 bottles of baby oil, 5 bottles of Astro, some vegetable soup from a high-end grocery store, and he wanted the order filled so he didn't have to call anybody else about it later, he said in the voice note. 6 minutes ago, quote, I'm not a corn star, with the corn being a different word. Messages between Jane and Diddy heard in court. The court now hears about more messages between Diddy and Jane. The pair dated from 21 to 24. I don't want to be blank and mistreated. I'm not a star. I'm not an animal. She told Diddy that she had been through 3 years of having to blank strangers. She said she was tired, and she added, I do not want to do this. I don't know when these messages are for. In another message, she told Diddy she was mentally and physically drained, and she did not want to have relations with strangers to, quote, fulfill Diddy's fantasies. 2 minutes ago, NBC reports on the same thing. Jane told Diddy she's not a corn star to be ordered to have relations with strangers. Around the same time of Cassie's 2023 lawsuit against Diddy, Jane also texted him that she's not a corn star to be ordered to have relations with strangers. And girl, I mean, are corn stars allowed to be ordered to have relations with strangers? I'm pretty sure that still would be trafficking. In a series of text messages, she said it had been 3 years of having to blank strangers, telling him S is sacred to her. Well, she should have acted like it. I'm just so sorry she should have acted like it. And she didn't want to be intimate with anyone on his command anymore. But I'm glad she finally said it. And you do have to finally say it. And Jane said she was, quote, mentally and physically drained of it all. Okay. So there's the 3,000. So make sure you don't feel me high and you don't leave me feeling high and dry. Put something in my account. Give me some dollars. And then 3 days later, she's got 3,000 more in her account. Okay, who texts the assistant, Jonathan Perez? Oh, that would be KK. KK said, heads up, P. Diddy going to the guest house. Turn off the public screen, please. Next question. What do they say the fight is about? The special agent said, well, they said that she was jealous and yelling at him. Okay, what is this? That is a picture of Jane and Anton. Anton, is it Antoine? That was one of the ones that they would use a lot. The services of whom they would use a lot. Mentally and physically drained. So they added something to the bottom of this CNN thing. Diddy ordered one of the entertainers through Cowboys for Angels. According to the records, Jane paid the Cowboys for Angels $1,100 cash app and texted Diddy, send this as proof of payment. Remember, Jane testified extensively about going with Diddy to what she called hotel nights. And she described them as sexual encounters with a male entertainer, often in a hotel room with Diddy present. People who work for Diddy sometimes call these encounters king nights, wild king nights, according to testimony. Cassie also testified. Excuse me. Whew. They're boring me to sleep, y'all. Cassie also testified about similar encounters. She called them freak offs. Okay. On June 20th, who does Jane call? Someone named Jamel Douglas, aka Anton. Okay. And what was sent to Fahim? Banking. Remember, Anton is the one. Anton is the one who came over, who was at the other rappers party. Now, a lot of people were thinking Antoine. A lot of people were thinking this was Kanye and Bianca, but we don't know for sure because there was like a whole thing about not putting it out who it is and all that. Remember, it was like court was put off for like 2 hours one day to see who was going to be, we're going to name this rapper. But Jane went to another rapper's, like, basically freak off, like hotel party or whatever. Apparently this is common, that it's also in the Fat Joe lawsuit that this is something they would do. Like people would have relations in front of other people after a show or something. I don't know if it's true. I certainly wasn't there. And if I was there, I'd run away quickly, as fast as I could. So I don't know. I wasn't there. But this Anton is the one that apparently Jane saw at the other rapper's thing, freak off thing, doing things with another person there, another woman. And then they talked to each other and they had text messages. And that's what made Diddy so mad that day. Like, I can't believe you go to another rapper's freak off. And then he used Jane's phone to call Anton to come to the house. Remember that? So this is Anton, Jamel Douglas. Okay. So then what was sent to Fahim? Well, the text said banking coordinator, I guess that's Robin, I don't know who it is, will pick up the cash. 5,000 for you, 15,000 for P. Diddy. So 5,000 for Fahim, 15 for P. Diddy. And what injuries are on Jane? Objection, Your Honor. And then the judge doesn't let him actually answer the injuries. The assistant U.S. attorney said, was this video found on Jane's iCloud? Yes. And the assistant U.S. attorney finally rests and says no further questions. Or not rests, actually. Just rests on the direct, not rest the whole case. So they're going on a break. They might talk about stuff over lunch, but I'm like overdue for a break. So let me just get to these super chats and then I'll be back in a little bit. What's the biggest turning point in the case so far? And what evidence has been the most impactful? Girl, I mean, it's hard to know. It's hard to know what the biggest turning point is so far. It's also hard to know what's been the most impactful because I'm not in there and I'm not looking at the jury. So I don't know what they found to be compelling. I mean, they might have found some little way that somebody cried that or somebody did something to be compelling and I just have no way to know. And I don't know that there really has been a turning point in the case. I think it's just kind of been a gradual thing, but interested to hear what y'all's answers are for Queen of Mischief in the comments down below or in the live chat. And I'm gonna have to look up Yorkshire Dales and I'm gonna have to look up Door County, Wisconsin in my next show and tell that we do. That's all I really had for this one. I'm going to have y'all go to Rabbit and I'll be back around 2 p.m. That's all I really had for right now. I'll be back in a few minutes and see y'all then. And then hopefully maybe they're even going to rest their case today. Hold on. Thank you, Julie, for the 1999 super chat. I had a feeling some of the bottles were vials of K. I was surprised that K wasn't in their man down cocktail. We had to be given infusions because no IV pain meds would work. No cognitive effects, just pain relief. Very interesting. Very interesting. But they didn't say that was in there. So that's all I really had for that one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. See y'all in just a little bit. Love you, Minnie. Okay, bye.